Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to more Great Ace Attorney. Quite a long stream last time, but unfortunately today we are pretty much back to the standard. I just go until 3 o'clock my time. Time to go to court. February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber.
Well, I never expected this. Who'd have thought we'd be back here again so soon?
We are on a study tour of Great Britain, with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible.
Well, yes, I suppose it's true, but the person in the docket may well be his or her only one and only time in court. And it could be life-changing. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass.
Oh, when you play it like that, you're quite right.
Good morning! Ah, Mr. Natsume, good morning.
Oh dear, you alright? Your eyes are terribly bloodshot. The early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain.
Yes, I've heard that expression.
Really don't want to catch a worm.
I just went in to wake up early! But I was still worried I could catch a wink!
But no, I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. Sounds like some people I know.
Do all literary people take things so literally?
Thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume.
I wish I had 9 lives! My whole future hangs in the balance! I am...
Don't terrified! Don't tremble! You're definitely not, man. You are definitely not. On reflection, I should have made the title Soseki Natsume versus London rather than Angen, Naruhodo, Natsusado. Whatever, I'll change it later, maybe.
Really? Because I can feel tremors on the floor.
I can't do this! I can't take it! Although, welcome to it, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Yes?
I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was such a notorious affair here in London. Yeah, really. I thought the whole... Yeah, really. Apparently it's notorious enough that the Reaper's coming down, even though, seems like it only comes down for the worst of the worst. Like McGilded.
Oh, neither did I.
We didn't really do a whole lot of proper investigation into the trial itself. Like, we found the secondhand book receipt, and that's... We found the secondhand book receipt and got a map of the place, and that's it. We might have met, like, the main witnesses already. Joan and John Garadeb. When... That probably said made before for the name rather than she gave a name. Because I think he did mention that, like, the witnesses were a man and his wife.
You know why that might be, Mr. Sato?
I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea.
That all-knowing look on your face is just coincidence then, is it?
She's just so happy to be here, man. I'm sorry.
Tell her the truth for me!
It's because of the Reaper, isn't it?
Lord Van Zeeks? Is that right, Mr. Sato? We already knew the Reaper was coming down for this trial!
There's as many different newspapers as I could find this. There's just as many different newspapers as I could find this morning, and yes, Lord Van Zeeks is on the front page of every one.
I knew it! After the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey. After appearing in court, it's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday. Yes, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? Trial 2 days ago marked Lord Van Seek's return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. Trial of Magnus McGilded. Ugh, what a harrowing experience that was. That appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's. But we might have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country. Is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon? What appears to be a mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking. They are all speculating various answers. Mundane! Mundane! It's the most significant song of the century to some of us! Oh dear, I meant no offense to Natsume, but that's how the papers are describing it.
Well, as we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. You ever been part of a trial where you were the defendant for what could have been an international incident, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire? Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. There's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago.
Yes, I agree.
Welcome to it, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. It's you!
Me? Well, I suppose that's true.
Both times it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean...
I am friends with the Reaper!
Natsume, please!
Natsume, please! These wild allegations that come from nothing reminds me too much of a friend of mine. Please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers! I'm afraid there's really only one other explanation. It'll only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck. Thanks for that. Oh, this is just my luck! What happens to be represented by a man with such real fortune? Thanks. By the least lucky liar alive! Well, let's not forget. That was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to represent you. Yes, it's true that I'm just a stupid noodle London with little in the way of experience or skills. Or luck, now. I promise you this. I'll fight your corner until the bitter end. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be fight for your corner, fight in your corner, not fight your corner. Ryunosuke is here to fight Mr. Natsume, here and now.
Oh, benevolent welcomes to it, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side.
Oh, benevolent non-locum assistant, Miss Mikotoba Esquire-S.
Doesn't quite roll off the tongue, that one.
I am in your debt forever!
I shall never forget this great kindness for as long as I live.
Mr. Natsume! Court counsel for the defense! Court session is about to begin! Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once! I definitely think I just went through like 4 different voices for that one dude. Alright then, Mr. Natsume, it's time. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yes!
Second appearance in a British courtroom. A second trial against Reaper. You're watching over me, Cosmo. Is this time my faith waver? Leaving my client to the last. He believed in me. I believe I can do this now. I'm ready for this fight. Of February, 10 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. Wait a minute.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsel for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. Defense is ready, my lord. The Nipponese are a truly fascinating breed, with their blood tasting like. Sorry, what? Lord Strongheart told me all about you. You were soon arrived in London days ago, near Amateur. Do you have a point? The hatred you feel compelled to help you this. Funny's arrogance. Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description. Son. For all our previous encounters, the defendant was found to be innocent. Yeah, because the defendant fixed every single aspect he could! Like, that's one thing I didn't really, like, bring up that's one thing I didn't really bring up during the last part, but I guess, honestly, of course I wouldn't have brought it up. It only just happened during the last part, more or less, but, like, I'm a little disappointed how, like, Case 3 ended. Like, I actually was really digging that, and I felt like it ended, like, really abruptly. I'm hoping that we'll get a bit more, like, closure, and more importantly, a more proper explanation later in the game, or at least by the second game. I'm assuming we're gonna get more of an explanation, like, the 5th trial, but... So that though you can't bury my reputation. Very true. And most fascinating, if dark, trial it was too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted, is unfortunate, violent, and...
Thank you, counsels. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public?
Wait a minute! Hey! I didn't even notice you before!
You might be down your luck, but I believe in fair play for everyone.
Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear. Oh well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow. You! You should not be up here right now! I'm like, I could've sworn, I'm pretty sure you're a witness. If John Garatep is on the stand, you should definitely not be up there.
I'm afraid to say, I think it's quite possible that Mustache Foreigner did the deed.
Come on, what are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway. This is not impartiality! We haven't even started the trial, so many people have already decided it! Sorry, didn't quite catch it.
Very well, let's proceed. The opening statement, if you please, Lord Van Zieks.
Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. Accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, the kindness has not been returned, and the student is accused of a most sinister act. Unlike the shithole Nippon, we actually prosecute foreigners that we think did the crime. We're already getting the glass throw early. Plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street. Now have at thee!
Knife crime? I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst! Bloody oath they are!
Just look at that subtle complexion and slick stature! He's one of those triple Japanese racism!
Come on, let's get this over with! With me now, everyone! 1, 2, 3,
hey! Sorry, didn't quite catch it. Pray forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hollow chalice here in this great chamber. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand.
Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please.
Gregson? Gregson. With his chips. No name and occupation, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard. Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector? The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. Oh yeah, that's right. The person didn't even die. Wait a minute.
I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be.
Yes, having been stabbed in the back by her attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now. She's been in comatose ever since. What? So you don't even know who she is for sure?
That's gonna come up later.
She's not even dead anyway.
Comatose. I see. But her life is not in danger.
Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Pray elaborate on the details, Inspector. There! If I could ask everyone to look at this street map. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago, around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement right alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles. It not long since stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared, and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. How good is English healthcare at this point in time, I wonder? We're definitely not still in the, like, era where, like, oh yeah, your toe is a little fucked up, we're gonna have to cut the whole foot off, right? I don't think it was ever that bad, but I know that, like, healthcare used to be a lot more amputations. I don't know the exact year, I can't look it up. Being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far.
Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please.
Case file. A file containing an overview of the case and details about the victim. It's found with a nip in her back and is currently in hospital, yet to regain consciousness. What's of the weapon that was used? Sir, I have that here. We removed the victim's back. Looks like a butterfly knife? Or switchblade? I think that's the proper term for it. Ouch, that big thing is starting to make me scared to walk down the street now. I think butterfly knife's just a type of switchblade? Hold on. I know that thing's a TF2, thanks. Thanks, Spy. Yeah, no, butterfly knife is way fancier. That's definitely just like a simple switchblade. A heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman. Oh wait, isn't a switchblade the one that, like... Does that constitute a switchblade? No, I think the switchblades are just the ones that, like... Well, now I'm curious. I'm looking up types of knives and hoping that my my core-assigned FBI agent doesn't ask anything of me. Pocket knife? Probably just a simple pocket knife. Even a scraggy-looking Soseki sign, I suppose.
Common or garden jackknife, I would say.
Jackknife, okay, cool, thanks.
Rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. Court accepts the blade as evidence.
Jackknife has been entered. A large but commonplace folding knife was found lodged in the victim's back.
Now then, what do we know of the motive? Money or valuables, I presume?
From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it seems like she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have had anything much worth pinching, my lord.
I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment toward the victim?
I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, the defendant, Mrs. Natsume, doesn't appear to get out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim.
Yes!
We jumping in already? Doesn't grievance have been ruled out as the motive? What reason could Mrs. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? You arrested the man in spite of it, in totally unjustified and heavy-handed way!
Objection!
Also, he objects, but... Okay, man! Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery. He threw it into the crowd! He threw it into the crowd. It's gotta be some type of assault, right? This is the real reason he's the Reaper of the Bailey. Please, come on. But your words have soured its hollow bouquet. Well, it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here. What? Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student. Yes, sir! Mr. Natsume's arrest. As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else around but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. There must be a number of old books he just bought. He's on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him.
Old books, you say?
Yes, my lord. I have a photograph here of the scene of the crime, taken immediately after the incident.
Oh yes, I can clearly see the books to which you were referring. We'll take that photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector.
Crime scene photograph. Photograph of the scene taken by a policeman just after the incident occurred. A large knife can be seen thrust into the victim's back. You Nipponese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat. Shove off! Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Overwhelming evidence?! Well, Give me Lord Van Seeks, the defendant is not denying everything, as you put it. What are you doing, Mr. Sato?
You go on.
Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, now you mention it. When we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us when it all happened.
As I was walking along the accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was, just as I went to overtake her. She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed into the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran, as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings.
A green overcoat? Well, that's exactly what the woman in that print is wearing.
Oh my, photographic print in full color. What will the world come up with next? Photographic print in full color.
Oh man, it'll never last. Just look at the original trilogy. Color photography is a fad. The fan has done nothing more than making flood the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean that he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back. There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there was nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. Fact that the accused concedes. Self-stabbing? Could she possibly have stuck the knife into her own back like that? Pretty in the middle.
Seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, counsel. Proceed, please.
Yes, my lord! Nothing for it. Use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance. His arrest. As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred. There was an unusually light fog. Hold it! A light fog, you say? Well, light for London. You can see the opposite side of the street for once. Not much farther, though. That's late, is it? Around these parts, yes. That's why I'd expect a Japanese fellow like yourself to know, of course. Does Japan get fog? I'm pretty sure they do. They probably couldn't make fucking... They probably couldn't make, like, Persona 4 Silent Hill 2 if they didn't know what fog was. I like how that's my reasoning. I read that London is famous for its fog. In my country, people usually imagine it gives the city a rather beautiful appearance. How quaint. Yes, well, it's not something us Londoners tend to romanticize as I expect you can appreciate. I see. This time of year, the fog causes a large number of accidents, especially when it's heavy. Sometimes you can't even see your own hand at the end of your arm.
Indeed, the other day I was very nearly trampled by horses if I could see the carriage they were pulling.
This sounds I should definitely remember to stop, look, and listen. However, on the day that concerns us, the fog was somewhat later than usual. In fact, no doubt lamented by the accused. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else around but the victim and the accused. Hold it! How are you able to state that with any certainty? Quite simply, my learned friend, because that is what the witnesses to this crime have told us. And yes, Inspector Gregson mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he? That's right. One of them is a policeman. Oh, from Scotland Yard. I forgot about that little tidbit. That's correct, ma'am. We must hear their testimony. We've still got this one to go through. Prosecution will, of course, call them to the stand, should it be necessary. But wait a minute. 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of winter? It would have been dark already! No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen... I'm unaware of the situation on your tiny island in the east. But here in the capital city of Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated in the night by gas street lights. Ah! The prosecution believes there would have been ample light by which to witness the crime.
Quite, here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness.
It means we really need to hear those witness statements. If we could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe we'll be able to.
It seems the counsel for the defense is taking stock. Continue with your testimony, Inspector.
Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. Hold it! From behind, you say? That's right. As you can see from this print.
Yes, quite so, Inspector. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back. You say this poor woman, Miss Green, remains in a critical condition, comatose no less.
I'm afraid so, my lord, yes. She's been treated at Bart's. Bart's? I was hopeful that she'd come around before the trial starts so I could take a statement, but it wasn't to be.
Yes, that is indeed a pity. It would have been most illuminating to hear the victim's own account of events.
The luck is on your client's side, it seems. On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky! Inosuke!
The force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid.
Hughes ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Hold it! Mr. Natsume's belongings? I think you'll find us all there in the photographic print of the crime scene.
Yes, there's 3 books on the floor.
That's right, my lord. Secondhand books they were. Irreparably damaged after falling in the snow, of course.
Damn, dead literature.
Hughes could easily have carried all 3 books in one hand. Which means... the other hand would have been free to wield a knife, for example. It's very clever, isn't he? What do you mean? It made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume had his hands full with his books. He managed to close the one avenue of escape he might have had before he even knew it was there.
You mean to say that the man was holding his belongings as he thrust the knife into the woman's back?
That must be what happened, my lord, yes. There must be a number of old books he just bought. He was on his way home from the bookshop, it seems.
Hold it!
Then apparently visits a secondhand bookshop on a daily basis. Yeah, so I understand. Shop full of old English literature.
I commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention.
Bloke's room was stacked full of... The bloke's room was stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books. Tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector. Well, if I must, I have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid. Actually, can't know where the bookshop is. Well, it's the second-hand bookshop to the accused lodgings is this place here. Bourbon Books. Interesting. Sum of 2 shillings tender and a receipt of the picture of Monsieur Lecoq, a meal for Gabaro, contemporary yearnings. Closest bookshop, eh? A little place in the corner of Briar Road and Mersham Street. As it happens, the accused is currently living in lodgings on the other side of Briar Road, the opposite end. Which means it doesn't take a genius to work out the road he would have taken home. Something like this. Well, master information has been updated.
Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. Then would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance. Yes, I agree. The most important point the inspector just made being...
You're really gonna do this to me, game? The location!
Crucial detail in what you just told the court, Inspector, is the location of the bookshop.
Gonna screw around again! Time for the screwing around corner!
I couldn't agree more. So, where is it exactly?
Are you wearing me a picture? I just explained that! I have the map out and everything! Use big blooming ink! And try the bloke's route home! Found it for you!
I distinctly remember seeing you not long, counsel!
Oh, yes, of course! I must have been so nervous I didn't take it in. I know that feeling for so...
Blunder of the day goes to you, my learned friend.
No, not yet! The trial's only just begun after all! The trial's only just begun! I can still make a bigger blunder than this!
Mr. Naruhodo, I would strongly advise you look carefully through the court record of the stage.
Yes, miss. At once, miss. Sorry I made a mistake, miss.
That's good.
Inspector, continue with your testimony, please. Just a matter of working out who the books belong to, and we found the bloke to arrest him.
Hold it!
You asked for the help of the famous detective Herlock Sholmes to locate the defendant, I believe? Stop it, nonsense. Sorry? That jack in office, that busybody, just comes and sticks his arm whether we ask him or not. But going away I have here, the Sholmes was shown to the scene by Scotland Yard detectives. What has nothing to do with me? The last of the scene must have done it without my permission. I tell him time and again, the message I have is send word to headquarters and follow your blooming instructors. And see. If that meddler gets his hands on any details, well, I'll be reading it in Rent's magazine next month. And you can bet your last father and I'll be in there too, stripped of all my hard work in the case. Yes, Mr. Sholmes. No, Mr. Sholmes. Aren't you clever, Mr. Sholmes? That's other things I'll be getting.
Inspector, the man is proving detrimental to the R's activities. Perhaps I should step in and deal with... Oh god! Oh no! Mr. Sholmes! Someone save Mr. Sholmes! He doesn't deserve this!
Ah!
Here's Inspector Gregson and is lost for words.
Yes, Reaper's words carry a lot of weight, obviously.
Anyway, the point is this. The little Japanese blokes already admitted it. He admitted that those books all over the pavement at the scene were the ones he bought that day.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? You're unable to sway the jury during this cross-examination. I'm afraid that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed. Yes, they're sure to find him guilty. One way or another, I have to expose an undeniable inconsistency in the inspector's testimony. Undeniable inconsistency!
Hold it!
Undeniable inconsistency! Why is there still no fast forward button? Most important part, the stock! I didn't think, Inspector, that what really makes for a good bookshop is the quality of the books that they stock. Yes, I think I'd agree with that. For example, you go to a shop and buy a serialized set of novels. But when you return home, you find to your horror that the third volume is missing! That's what I'm thinking about. This is the thing that really gets my goat.
Exactly! That is the point I was trying to make!
Well, you two have found common ground in that fascinating scenario. Perhaps we might continue with the cross-examination. If you're quite finished with my learned Nipponese friend.
Yes!
Wait, what just happened? What just happened, Mr. Naruhodo? Was that you? What just happened, Mr. Naruhodo? Was that you allowed yourself to be sidetracked? Get used to it! I strongly advise you to look carefully through the court record at this stage.
Yes, miss. I once, miss. Sorry, I made a mistake, miss. Hold it!
Alright. Alright. Alright, enough screwing around. The place is called Bourbon Books, huh?
Inspector Gregson, may I ask you a favor?
What?
Could you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance.
Maybe.
Oh, well, you know, I mean, yes! It could be a very important clue.
Very well. Not that I can see it being of any great significance. But please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector.
Yes, sir, my lord. Whatever you say.
Can we be any more sardonic?
Relatively home from Bourbon Books, the second-hand bookshop he apparently patronizes.
Hold it!
So the shop is called Bourbon Books, is it? That's right. That's the closest second-hand bookshop to the accused's lodgings. Get from there back to his room. You have gone right past the very spot where the incident took place. If I could just confirm one point, will you be sure that the defendant really did visit Bourbon Books on the day in question? Well, we haven't actually confirmed it, no.
If we confirmed it,
devil not, Inspector?
Well, the thing is,
Shopkeeper's gone on a trip, you see. The morning after the incident. To collect more stock, I'm told.
so we,
Haven't been able to ask the bloke if he was visited his shop on the day in question or not. Morning after the incident, huh?
in that case, what did the defendant himself have to say about it?
No recollection.
What?
According to the statement he made at the time, the accused has no recollection of where he'd been.
Of course he doesn't. Will clearly has his head in class whenever he's walking about town. Then he just wanders into whatever bookshop he happens to be passing and rarely notices the name.
I just said the man also learn to look where he's going at the very least.
So, just as I thought then. Something of the matter? Inspector, you may continue with your testimony. Alright, enough screw around. So he's on his way home from Bourbon Books, which was right around the corner. So what was this receipt that says your books?
Objection!
If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson. What is it, Sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know. This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident. Details the purchase of 3 second-hand books. And you found that in the accused's room, did you? Yes, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it.
Go on.
This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books.
Your books? Y-O-R-E, I presume.
Yes, my lord. Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at a second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books. What?
Inspector, do you know this other bookshop?
Yes, sir. Your Books is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that... Well, it's such a small place, I didn't think you would have known about it.
Objection!
The fact that it is the bookshop with its business on the day in question. This receipt proves it.
Objection!
Yes, for what difference it makes. Wherever the man purchases musty tomes makes no difference in the final analysis. Where is your books exactly?
Objection!
I disagree. I mean, after all, I have a street map here if that might be of help. Oh, yes, thank you. Have a look at this, please.
If the man had been returning from Bourbon Books...
Yes, he will almost certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, Your Books, and he very well wouldn't have passed that location at all.
Could that be true?
I might. Rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility. Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir? What you just said? Absolutely. You absolutely could be right.
Problem is we need to know where the other bookshop is. If it's just across the street, that doesn't really help.
Dr. Gregson, where is this Your Books establishment?
Well, obviously looked into that. Turns out that Your Books, just here on the next corner of Mersham Street, going east.
That might not be a big help. If it was on the other end, like... If it was on the other end, like, down here, then, like, yeah, that would be a huge help to us, but... It's not. You could very easily just go... down Mersham Street, then down the Briar Road. This depends on, like... Romance information isn't updated.
There you have it. As you can clearly see now.
Ow. Yeah, it really doesn't help that much. A little bit more of a walk, but... My learned Nipponese friend is obviously trained to be... My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown the way he regales us with such witticisms. I think that's supposed to be a jester, but damn, he's pulling the clown card on us. Oh, I don't think I don't want to talk about the clown card anymore, given what has happened, like, over the past, like, year in the Ace Attorney fandom. Your future career in the circus. There it is! There's the screenshots. Yeah. What was the screenshot button on this thing again? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You put that glass down now. I'll put it down for you. Yes! Throw him! Throw him in his glass! Didn't think I needed to spell it out, but here we go. Here's what's coming home from your books instead of bourbon books. There's no doubt he still lived past the place where the victim was stabbed. It's still possible he went down Calabash Road, but there's no real way to prove that, is there?
Yes, thank you, Inspector.
Allow me to reiterate from the learned, if somewhat slow, Nipponi's friend. Fuck you! Ugh. Wherever the man purchases musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis.
As I suspected, you can't fool me. I don't suggest you try. What I say? I've had enough of this now.
Beg your pardon? Terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that?
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't give up.
What do you mean?
Prosecution's assertion is correct. The rest of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsume is guilty.
She's absolutely right.
You must think. You must consider the assertions put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully.
Claims Soseki-san must pass the location of the incident as way home from your books, but...
It is so possible he went through Calabash Road, but... Do we have any... I don't think we have any sort of evidence to suggest that he did, though. I think 15 minutes is more than... I'm not much of a walker. I don't know, like, how long it would take to pass through all that, but, like... The crime took place at about, like, 5 o'clock. That, honestly, 15 minutes doesn't seem like that much of a, stretch, the thing you could get from your books to the location. I haven't actually looked through the rest of this evidence yet, have I? Details: young woman rendered unconscious following a stab wound to the back. Victim, olive green. Female, stout build, early 20s. Location, pavement, Briar Road. East. Oh, well, just east of the map, I suppose. Reporting officer, Rolly Beat. Rolly Beat, okay. Victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Apart from the single stab wound from the large nip, no other signs of injury were observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested the following day. Oh, here we go. Actually, look at the nip. Tip's broken. Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. Just as the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing.
You're right. Well spotted, Miss Susao.
What could have happened to it?
Yes. You don't think
It'd still be lodged in the victim, do you?
Oh dear. I do hope not.
It sounds terribly painful. How good was surgery in, like, the mid-1900s London? Ah, yes, books. My favorite book. My favorite book. ... My favorite book. Can't read it. I do wonder if there's anything else to see here. I think I'd better leave it alone for now.
Very well, the defense has no rebuttal here.
It's Naruhodo, as I said before. Can't give up here. Must fight back. Yes, I realize that, but sometimes the best way to fight is to do nothing, you know? You're right, what am I talking about? Doing nothing won't get us anywhere. Wasn't saying right with me anyway.
Objection!
The decisions made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed.
Hold it!
You guys will hold it? First, we must deal with the inexcusable tardiness of you. Shit! They actually punished me! No! They actually punished me for not actually saying it. I don't think they actually, like, what? It's Naruhodo, remember, it's time to fight back. I don't know what's worse. The court penalty is Sao-san's piercing stare.
Play yourself, Consul.
Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. When returning from your books to his lodgings, Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. So I think I have 5 penalties there, so I'm pretty sure that my screwing arounds in the Great Deduction don't actually matter for court. The defendant used these streets, look what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing a location where the victim was attacked.
Objection!
Back to a clowns of fools errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that that route is what is commonly referred to as the long way around. A cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home? Well, the answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, Hughes took the obvious route back to his lodgings, the obvious perpetrator of this crime.
Objection!
But, yes, I've got it. Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Natsume which route he took home. I've already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection. That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to be spending his time wandering outside. Bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B. That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home. But that means you have no evidence that he wouldn't take the long way home. I don't believe that! I thank you, my learned friend. Suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around this subject. Ray, what say you insightful jurors? But even if that is the case, then still... Come on, you guys can't seriously already be like... I rule Lord Van Zeeks, wholeheartedly and in every way! What? I don't believe it! Does this mean...
We members of the jury are completely convinced now.
It's been one testimony! And we don't even know for sure he took that route!
Very well, in that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty! Guilty!
You weren't even listening to any of this! Shove off!
The appeal of the jury is leading is unanimous.
Time for another review. To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably. It's Naruhodo. No, not yet. This isn't over yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. Shouldn't be hard considering that they're all stupid. I just need to balance those skills the other way. I have to turn this around. Somehow. Those are the eyes of quarry not yet willing to give up and die. I presume you intend to wield your rights again in this trial. Rights of defense written into antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago. It worked out last time, asshole! Call it antiquated if you will, but it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a supplementation examination if it so chooses.
Very well, Counsel. Of course, with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with the summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his uncle's refusal to throw in his alley. Shove off! Even if it ended badly, we still got a not guilty verdict in the end. Very well then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty?
Additional findings. I'm wondering if this is going to be a, like, once a trial thing, or if we're going to eventually get to the point where, or if there's going to be, like, more here, and even... They're probably going to do it, I'm gonna guess they're going to do it, like, only the once for this trial as well, but then we're going to have to do it a couple more times. At least a second time during the last trial. We'll see. Jurors' contentions. For his sake, the little Nipponese oddity already admitted himself, didn't he? If he said that woman in green clouds before his eyes, why can it only have been the victim? Van wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back home from the bookshop. Not Winter.
The woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful.
I really don't care. Can't we just wrap this up now? We've got work to be doing. You didn't even give a reason! Get off this bench! Your books, yes? I shopped that. Bourbon books? No, not worth a visit. And you don't even know what's going on! I want these two out! Only minor exceptions. The reasons for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear. Two of them are full of shit! Minimum! The stabbing occurred, the only two people at the scene were the victim and the accused. The accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes.
Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant then fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already.
We've heard one witness! Oh dear, even the judge appears convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt now. Ugh, why do you have to run away like that? How are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? This is impossible! How can you possibly make a case for the defense? Naruhodo, this is no time for grumbling. I want to force the trial to continue. Yes, I know. I have to turn the tide. We must make the jurors change their mind. Well, 4 of them at least. Which is good, because I'm pretty sure 2 of them don't... I'm pretty sure at least 1 of them is already pretty set. No choice to forge forward.
You have the floor, Counsel. Begin your summation examination.
Yes, my lord. Just need to keep this trial going somehow. Whatever it takes. Come on, Ryunosuke, you can do it.
Problem is, I don't know exactly what 4 I'm going to be pitting against each other.
Jury examination.
That's this rebuttal.
For his sake, the little Nipponese oddity already admitted himself, didn't he?
Hold it!
Excuse me, but... aren't you...
Yes, that's right. I was in the witness stand myself just 2 days ago.
Yes, I have a feeling I knew your face. Or the sight of it, anyway. If I remember correctly, you're a banker, aren't you?
That's right. After the gold rush down under, I came back to London to work.
Were you gone to, debt with Mr. McGilded? Hey, congrats on not having to deal with that anymore, man.
It was all going swimmingly until you started fussing around. Bruce Fairplay was a man of repute.
You put yourself in debt! That's a pretty bad look for a banker. Sorry?
Don't think I've forgotten how you treated me the other day. You had me and that young hat pegged as criminals.
Oh, well, you know, water under the bridge.
Oh, there's all sorts of rumors buzzing around. The police have been badgering me non-stop.
If I could turn back the clock.
Well, anyway, I don't know about the Hatter, but at least I'm in the clear now.
Yeah, of course.
Now, the Hat was totally guilty, but I'm innocent. Shovel off. free to make up my own mind about who's guilty and who isn't.
You're making up your mind too quick, that's the problem! Ah, thank goodness. Alright, maybe I may struggle to change this man's mind given our awkward history. It's fine, we only need 4. Problem is, we only have 4 people left, so I think we could possibly convince. Oh dear, I wonder what's become of Mr. First now. I never did get, like... I suppose it really doesn't mean anything. I thought for sure that we were going to get another, like, oh yeah, says he, but nah, Mr. First is not a he. He said that woman in green closed 4 eyes, so I can only have been the victim.
Hold it!
You're right that at the time of the incident, the defendant admits to having seen someone wearing a green overcoat walking ahead of him. Well, quite. That's precisely my point. Clearly, that someone wearing green was the victim. And clearly, that man will even with the disturbing mustache is the culprit. Well, let's not forget, ma'am, the defendant vehemently denies attacking the woman. Of course he does. If he misses stabbing her, his life is over. He is obviously a liver-faced coward. Honestly, I think the woman simply collapsed before his eyes. But if he did do it, and he sits here and says he didn't, isn't that worse? If that's all lies you're suggesting, do you not think he would have concocted something more credible? I really couldn't say. After all, you are foreign. Who's to say what goes through your funny little mind's racism? I can tell you what's going through my funny little mind right now, but you wouldn't like it. I want to cut off your hair. I want to cut off your hair with my sword named Kazuma. I do declare the man has already made the admission. He himself has stated that there was nobody else around. Surely the conclusion is obvious. Who else could possibly have committed this awful crime? Who else could have done it? The accused must be the man. Really, it couldn't be more simple.
The argument is compelling in its simplicity, I must admit.
Oh my, you are too kind, my lord. That went well for her. We need more information. I wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back home from the bookshop. Not Winter.
Hold it!
But you can't deny that there are other routes for Natsume could have taken back from your books. Oh yes, like you drew on the map. What was it? Calabash Road or something? Precisely. It seems to me that what counts is whether the little Japanese fellow actually went that way or not. Well, yes, that's true. At the moment, there's no proof that shows he did, is there? Well, yes, that's true as well. As I understand, the accused himself doesn't remember which way he went, does he? Well, yes, that's annoyingly true. Winter nights are dark and cold, so the way I see it, you'd want to get home as quickly as possible. Well, yes, why is all this true? He's at least got a bit more, like, thought put behind his guilty verdict, which means we're going to definitely have to change his mind. Really, the only thing that makes sense is that he went home along Briar Road. Ah! I'm supposed to be convincing you here! I've given it a lot of thought, you know. I just didn't make up my mind on a whim that he... I didn't just make up my mind on a whim that he did. I mean, if there was some logical reason why he might have gone Calabash Road way, it'd be different. I'd be happy to reconsider my position in that case. Honest, I would. A reason why Soseki Natsume might have taken the longer way home. Gotta be some information about that somewhere. Yes, a good reason. I don't imagine he'll be able to sway this young man's opinion without one. He definitely seems a lot more open to it at the very least. The poor woman was attacked from behind, was she? How dreadful!
Hold it!
Whatever's the matter, young man?
You're the wife of Mr. Garadeb, aren't you? The landlord who rents Mr. Natsume his room.
That's his wife. Where do you get your ideas, sir? I'm the maid. The maid, you understand?
No! I'm airing your dirty laundry in court right now! He's keeping up with that charade? Ugh, this is going to be awkward. Why didn't you mention this yesterday? You've been selected for the jury in this trial, I mean.
Well, I was told not to mention it to anyone until the day of the trial, you see. It was an alert I received. Instructions were very clear. I'm afraid I had no choice. After all, I would totally not hide anything else about myself, would I?
I see. Anyway, Mr. Natsume, the defendant, takes lodgings in your master's house, doesn't he?
Yes, that's right. Although he's only been a little over a week now.
And you definitely think he did. Even before the trial started, I know you thought he did, so whatever, fucking partiality, I guess.
And that time, surely you must have taken stock of his character. Does Mr. Natsume look like the kind of man who would commit such a crime as this?
Oh my goodness me, yes, he's just the sort.
What?
Ryunosuke, we heard this before.
Spending all his time in that dark, dingy room, displaying that unscrupulous mustache. Man never speaks. Don't get me started on those shifty eyes. All the neighbors are talking about him.
I met one of his neighbors. He seemed cool with him.
I've heard them, you know. People think he must be building a bomb in there or something.
You're definitely overblowing it.
Oh dear, poor Mr. Natsume. What do people say such things about him? He's a harmless bookworm. Nothing more. Well, you just call him a worm, so...
Wow.
Well, I better be careful about inviting this maid to speak. It's had enough damning things already.
I really don't care. Can we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing.
Hold it!
Why didn't you refuse your work?
Man's life is on the line here, sir. This will take as long as it takes.
Don't get clever at me now, son. My life's on the line too, and so is my family's.
Ah,
The likes of you wouldn't understand, but a laborer like me can't afford to take time off. I don't work, I don't eat, and neither do the wife and kids.
why didn't you refuse jury duty then? Now I see. That must be very hard. Could you refuse jury duty back in the 1950s? Or whatever this year is?
Hold on. I think this is all gonna be a lot of reading. I'll see about doing that off stream. Already blowing quite a bit of time as is. Go to the union every morning to find out what needs doing. You're late and work's taking it's tough. Ah yes, the union, my favorite wrestling faction. Hello, Jake. Jake, you wouldn't happen to know if you could refuse jury duty in the 1950s, do you? This time of year, there's water and gas supply pipes bursting left, right, and center. After cheap labor to get the roads dug up to fix it. It's a hard slog from dawn till dusk it is.
So, you were digging up the roads on the days of the incident as well, were you?
Which roads did you dig up? That's right. In fact, if I remember rightly, it's just round the corner from where it all happened. And that old bookshop it was.
What? Another coincidence?
That's right. Mersham Street it was.
Oh? Tell me more. Mersham Street? The map, Mr. Naruhodo. There are only 3 named streets. There's only 3 streets in all of London, and they're all on this map. How could you forget? During number 5, I need you to add that information to your formal statement, please.
What's the point of that? Can we just get this business over with now?
Please, sir, it's important.
Fine, I'll do it then. When the day happened, I was digging up Mersham Street from dawn till dusk.
Hold it!
Good question, but then yeah, that's the thing I want to read up now. This dude's like, I need to go to work. Like,
Could you not just refuse jury duty if you were that, like, hard up? If I understand correctly, you're a day laborer and you were doing road maintenance that day.
that's right. Like I said, you get a lot of burst gas and water pipes underground in the middle of winter. The only time of year fellows like me can actually make a few bob. But I'm missing out today.
Do you not get compensated for jury duty?
I've never had to deal with jury duty myself. I hope I don't ever have to deal with jury duty, but quick search showed my results. Yeah, I imagine that not a whole lot of people are asking about if you can refuse jury duty in the 1950s. They're probably more concerned about skipping out on it today. Well, the work has to be completed within the day, see? No coaches or pedestrians can pass while it's happening.
If I could trouble you, sir. Mark in the street map the exact location of the works you were carrying out.
Real jury duty. Yes, you do get money. Alright. Of course, that's real jury duty, and that's probably today money. That's probably today they give you money for, like, participating in jury duty to, like, make up for the work that you're missing for participating in jury duty. Might be different in, like, 1950s Ace Attorney land, where you can literally just be the most not impartial bastard in all the land and still, like, have a place in the jury duty bench. Over here, then. Let me have a look. Right. Let's see, then. Here we are. Merchant Street. Yep. Yeah, so it's just here, like. It was a tight dig, I can tell you. We had to get through all the drifts of snow that frozen solid. And what sort of time did you finish the work? Well, we started in the morning. We can't have finished before going 6, I'd say. Can't finish before 6, huh? Here, thank you very much, Mr. Number 5. The snow had stopped coming down, but it was long past dark for sure. It means the road work was still going on when the screen was attacked at around 5 o'clock. Road works on Mersham Street, huh? You want bugs, yes? I shop that. Bourbon bugs? No, not worth a visit.
Hold it!
Sorry. Hold it, you say? Hold what? Keep yelling it. No, what I said was hold it. What I wanted to ask was, do you visit your books often? I like the old books they have in there, yes. I enjoy reading them over a nice cup of old tea. Well, that's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about. Hey, what time did you visit your books on the day in question? Well, I was picking out books in there all afternoon, and it would have been just before 5 that I left. That's my daily routine, you see. Same thing every day, including the day you're all talking about. Before 5, you say? Exactly when the victim was attacked. Are you sure about the time? Oh yes, no mistake there. I remember it well. I'm not about to forget that day in a hurry. Not after the dreadful time I had. Oh? What do you mean? Well, I was walking down Calabash Road when I slipped on the ice and donked my head. He donked his head! It's always worse after the snow stopped falling. That's when it's most slippery. Got myself clean how I did. I really thought my number was up. Wait a minute, let me get this straight. This happened on Calabash Road? That's right, I live in Cornpipe, you see. Hanging down Calabash Road is the quickest way for me to get back from your books. Juror number 6, I must insist that you add that information to your formal statement. It may very well be extremely significant. Sorry, extremely sick? No, I'm quite alright now. There's a shiver down my spine to hear the members of the jury so convinced of Mr. Natsume's guilt. For so little, I have a feeling that some of their opinions are rather subjective. I agree. It's irrelevant to what some of them are saying that sends a shiver down my spine. Still, at least some of their assertions don't actually incriminate Mr. Natsume of anything. That's something. You must use that to our advantage, Mr. Naruhodo. Cunningly. Old man can't hear shit, yeah. I'm not sure people who can't hear. Why are you here as a juror? I'm pretty sure, like, half these people should not be up here as a juror, like, at all. Like, I keep talking about how, like, Joan's clearly not impartial. She already had decided that the dude was guilty, like, even before we got to court. Bruce Fairplay definitely kind of hates our guts right now, so, he's probably not gonna be siding with us at any point. Number 5 doesn't even want to be here at all. He should have just been like, I can't make it. I'm sick. Like, half these people should not be up here. Like, so far, only, like, the woman and, like... So far, it's only the woman in number 3 who, like, should still be on this juror stand. I was kind of thinking for a bit, like, oh, maybe we have to get, like, 4 of these jurors thrown out. Instead of, like, just, like, doing the standard summation examination we did last time. But nah, we're just doing standard summation exam. I really do have to wonder if that's going to be a thing, like, at any point, like... instead of like swaying opinions, we literally just have to get jurors kicked out because they're unfit. That doesn't feel very Ace Attorney though, so... Maybe their surgeons are at odds. I'll pit them mercilessly against each other. Yes, don't hold back. Pit them all against each other. He would have gone around the houses on his way back home from the bookshop. Not in winter. He would have if his quickest way home was being dug up.
Objection!
You're all unfit, get out! New jury, please, really. That's what it should be. That's what it should be. Those two statements are clearly at odds with one another. Odd, counsel. Explain yourself. Please, no point. It wasn't me, I swear. Eh, what? I just walked in this done and dusted. Well, juror number 3. Oh, me, sir? What do you mean? Juror number 5's words just now are extremely significant. Let's take a moment to consider the implications of what's been said on our map of the local area. On the day in question, Mr. Natsume visited this bookshop to purchase a number of second-hand books. And on the same day, we now know that there were works being carried out on Mersham Street, making it impassable. Which means the defendant's route home could not have taken him along Mersham Street and down Briar Road. Oh, yes, of course. What do you think, sir? Well, yes, you can't argue with that, really, can you? You must have had a good 2 yards or more of the pavement up. Every gentleman and gentlewoman that came along has to turn back and go the other way. Any people who just live along that street, fuck them. So the conclusion to this, the defendant must have taken a longer route back to his lodgings. Yes, I suppose he must have. Well, I suppose that must be right, eh? Juror number 3, you said the following. The man wouldn't have gone around the houses on his way back home from the bookshop. Right? You see now that he had no choice. Yes! My lord, Mr. Judge, if I may.
Yes?
I don't think in all good conscience that I can say the man's guilty. Yes, I also see this trial continue so we can get to the bottom of what really happened. There we go. Headway. What about you, sir?
Who, me?
Well, alright then. There's a hole in the prosecution's argument. It should be filled in. That's why I say. Yeah, okay, we'll use that as your justification, sure. Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. That was wonderful. Well, we managed to change a couple of minds at least. Strengthened our position somewhat. I'm waiting for the point when, like, we pit 2 people against each other. One of them changes their opinion, but the other is still like, nah, I'm still guilty by my book. Like, it's gotta get more they gotta complicate it like that somehow at some point, right? That sounds like a good, like, case 5, like, pull out, but... yes, it'll prompt the other members of the jury to reconsider their stance as well. Be asking themselves if their current leanings are really right or not. Now, if only we could just identify one more clue of discrepancy that would make them stop doubting Mr. Natsume. Might be able to tip the balance completely. Yes, that's exactly what we got to do. Shouldn't the fact that, like, the place was being dug up in the first place be our big thing? He couldn't go down that way, so he couldn't have gone, like... we couldn't have, like, gone around and stabbed him in the back. He's looking to bring this trial to an early conclusion. That's what we have to prevent, by whatever means we have at our disposal.
Thank you, counsel. I want the summation examination, please.
Yes, my lord. Because there's no real reason to assume that Olive was, like, walking, like, down the street rather than up, but still. I have to say not guilty at this point, so I can see where this trial goes from here. Whether it's taking up Rose or taking up the truth, you got to see it through the end, haven't you? What does this one mean? Oh, that evening myself on Calabash Road. Let myself clean out, you know?
Hold it!
That was at around 5 o'clock, you say? Same time as the victim was attacked. I don't know anything about the girl who was stabbed. My dinner's on the table at the same time every day. And for the record, could you please identify the precise location of your fall? goodness, it was eons ago now. Not sure I can remember. It was 3 days ago! Try dredging your memory, please! Or we'll get you thrown out. Well, let me see. It's especially slippery around about... Ah, yes, I remember now. It's just in the corner here. What happened to you then? Are you alright? Well, you don't get too many people down Calabash Road, you see. But there's no one around when I fell. No one around when I knocked myself out. No one around when I came to again. And no one around when I sneezed.
Okay, I'm a little concerned about this man now. I don't think you should be out and about by yourself in the middle of a cold winter night anyway.
I picked myself up and went back to my nice warm house where my grandchildren were waiting for me.
Why weren't your grandchildren with you? Sad and lonely picture you paint, sir. You're fortunate to have frozen to death.
Yes, how lucky he wasn't more seriously injured. True, sounds like it was very nearly another hospital admission, or worse. Ah yes, one more thing. Were you wearing that same green overcoat on the day in question?
Absolutely. It's the only coat I have. Are we really going to... Are we really going... Is this where we're going? Natsume didn't see the victim, he saw this old man take a spill?
On Calabash Road? Until this morning to dry out properly. Good job, too, I have nothing to wear here. Count your blessings, I say. Suppose we should. This gentleman certainly had a close shave there. If Natsume didn't exactly know, like, where he was or what route he took, then it's possible. Change to the juror's minds, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, just 2 more to go. Deliver the finishing blow now. It's time to turn the tables here. She knew how to do a Susawa takedown. Those words will have to suffice for now. She taught you! Have you not learned through doing yet? Granted, it's being done to you, but still. That woman in green class 4's eyes, what could only have been the victim? Could only have been the victim, but Mr. Natsume doesn't know up from down in this place, and he certainly wasn't in a good state of mind to check for himself.
Objection!
Those 2 statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning. Flaw? What are you talking about, Consul? Well, juror number 2? Juror number 6? Like, whatever do you mean, sir? I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you. Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There's at least one fact of which we can be sure here. Books I received from the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of secondhand titles. He then returned home on foot. The man says he has no recollection of his return journey. That's correct. We literally just determined he couldn't have gone through Marsham Street. Well, he does remember seeing someone appear in front of him on his way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before his eyes. Yes, we're well aware of all this. Poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Objection!
Can we really be sure of that, madam? Why? Whatever do you mean? I'm sure you heard juror number 6 account of what happened to him that day. The same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim, who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets of the neighborhood. Oh my! My goodness, you mean... That's right, I'm referring, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6. Are you really suggesting the person in the green overcoat who the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes? It's a jolly old gentleman at the end of the bench here with me today. That's entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victim. Well, look at that. My goodness me. Sorry, you need a pee? No, sir. And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell. Calabash Road. Therefore, if the person who saw Mr. Natsume collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, means the defendant must have taken the long route back to his lodgings. If that's true, then clearly, crime scene at Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home. Oh my! You idiot old man! If you've been so daft to be wrong about there, we just boxed this off hours ago! Shove off! Don't even start, you all! Ugh. Really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddling coat? What do you say to me? Is it crap for the elderly that wants to drink these days? Is it crap to slip over on ice? Is it crap to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat? Is it? Lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but...
You'd like to change your leaning, I presume.
Do declare that I would. I'd like to call for a verdict if not guilty. Thank you. That way too! What? What do you mean what? That's how this all goes! The crime change your mind? Well... Ugh. Finally get back on track. God.
Well, that summation examinations conclude with a rather large shift in opinion.
Eyes 2, nose 4.
The noes have it. Not guilty, they say. Means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. Trial will continue.
Objection!
You gonna crush it, you gonna throw it. You're gonna crush it.
But it seemed churlish of me to drink from my hollow chalice moments after raising an objection.
Yes! Incredibly!
Only to crush it in disgust. Pray forgive the discourtesy. Lord Zeeks! It seems I must retract my earlier remark. What do you mean? I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer. One of them said they were digging up the road! Shove off!
Eh?
What do you mean?
Objection!
I haven't tricked anyone! Everything I've said is the truth! Indeed, stalwart during the fight was undoubtedly repairing the road as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated, sir.
That's right! Took me the whole day, they paid me a measly tuppence for it!
Now my learned Nipponese friend tell me. Do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents?
No!
Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no.
Damn, this is where we learn about the difference between Imperial and not Imperial. I'm bad at measuring. Oh no.
2 yards is a little less than 2 meters. Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all. What? In other words, a distance rarely vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor. Would you not agree, my stalwart friend?
Me? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no.
What?
I swore 2 yards was a lot more than that.
Did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works?
I wouldn't dream of it. What waste of time?
That's dangerous! That's actually legitimately dangerous!
I want this man in court. I'm not representing him. Of course, would have had a hope of passing anyway. We just turn any genital back when they come. Let's just jump right over all. Let's just jump right over us all the time.
Why do you let children jump over you? He is no gentleman as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench that's meanderings around town. He just randomly walked along a street that was being dug up and like,
oh, let me just hop this now.
Ah! Is that true? Is it? You don't know! The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodgings, Natsume walked down Briar Road. Ah! Crushed in a single sentence. And old man. Old man! You can't talk! You can talk! Say that around 5 o'clock on the day in question you slipped and fell in Calabash Road. Ray, was there a suspicious looking Nipponese behind you at the time?
Oh, I can't say as I remember.
You don't remember? Have you seen this old man today? He doesn't know up from down.
How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man the accused saw. That would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it.
Ah!
No other witnesses.
Order! Order! Lord Van Zeeks, explain yourself.
My lord.
You had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve. Why in the world did you not proffer it during the summation examination?
I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. Wanted to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed.
Ugh.
My hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel.
I thought you had me a whole point about how it was hard to even change the mind of one juror last court session. Now you're being like, oh, it's so easily swayed. Shove off.
So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over.
What are you talking about?
My lord, the prosecution requests permission to call its next witnesses to the stand.
Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witnesses.
These witnesses? Finally.
Mr. Naruhodo, do you not remember? I've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident.
Yes, I remember. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less.
Great, that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness.
Oh boy, witnesses. Oh boy. Oh no, is it gonna... Right, one's gonna be that, like, fancy Pamby looking dude that we met just before going back to see Soseki, I bet. Right?
Alright, no matter who Fancy brings to the stand as witnesses, no matter what they say, believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent. And I'll keep believing to the very end.
Would it be both of them? Is it gonna be both the guys, actually?
Till this battle is over.
Are we having a bookends to Kome route right in the court? Again?
Oh no.
Right, one of those policemen.
Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court.
I do not have confidence.
Possible Royally Pizza? Nothing boy on the streets, sir.
Sleepy boy and his lady.
I'm Mrs. Speed. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say that I'm this young town hero's wife.
Sir, did you not get enough sleep last night?
What's the story here? Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
Still in the honeymoon phase?
No, it was your husband who I was asking about. He seems tired.
Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work on the road in the world.
No, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually.
Indeed, apart from rare days while our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. Lovely, dovey couple. I guess to contrast with the last couple we saw where they were definitely of the, like, yeah, we've been around the block a few times. Much more boomerish couple before. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true. Is the woman also a police officer? They're responsible for keeping the streets clean and laying and extinguishing our streetlights.
There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all.
I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I had collapsed long ago.
It goes without saying that policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals.
Nah, just the wife of one.
When he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat.
Patricia Beat, wife of Constable Royley B, who is witnessing, and she's relatively recently married and fiercely proud of her policeman husband.
Rolly beat Bodlin and Bobby, who witnessed the incident whilst walking down the street with his wife of a year, Patricia. Lillian Bobby is a man of honor. And a man of slumber. On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction. They witnessed the incident as it occurred. That's not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat.
That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rolly?
Yeah, they're so trenched in the honeymoon phase, they even have matching scarves.
Possible Rolly Beat, sir! There's a boy on the street, sir!
What great witness he's going to be.
Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. Tell the court exactly what you saw in the afternoon of the incident.
Yes, sir! Good night, sir!
When the witnesses saw...
It was our wedding anniversary and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There's no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, and went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him clear as day.
I totally believe it, considering that he didn't say a single word.
Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed. Death knell, in fact. Because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate bird chancing. And on your wedding anniversary, too.
Oh, I know. I still managed to go out for the evening with my... You watched and maybe almost murder take place, and you still went out on your honeymoon anniversary? Jeez, okay.
Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed. Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may very well have time to rest this afternoon.
What do you mean by that?
My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene, did they?
Glamour in the lay of love.
They're testifying under oath that was without doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. One of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. You appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure.
Since the man's so tired, his wife has to do all the talking.
The preamble. Counsel for the defense. Commence the cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord!
What the witnesses saw.
It was our wedding anniversary and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There's no time to change after work.
Hold it!
No time to change after work, you say? You also remember the police, Mrs. Beat? Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply. These women can't apply? Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you? I think Rolly looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It's usually down to the ground, isn't it, darling?
We know who's in charge in this relationship, that's for sure. Well, I just finished my beat. And I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there.
Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy. I mean, that's actually not, like, that unreasonable to assume. Apparently, like, you actually can't... I've heard of cases where, like, people can actually, like, respond to conversations and the such even while they're, like, dead asleep. I remember, like, hearing other VTubers, namely NL and Mika. I think it was Mika, yeah.
talking about, like, the times when, like, they or their roommates would, like, just, like, suddenly sit up, like, dead asleep and, like, respond to conversations and even say creepy stuff. Like, don't go. Anyway.
Oh, no, really, I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes, I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes.
That's a little concerning. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy. Like, I know you two are definitely a little, like, starry-eyed lovebirds, but that's concerning. I'm leading here to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beef for the day, correct?
That's right, sir. Yes. Although it's a drop, to be honest. I'm spending the whole day on my feet.
Please, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end.
What's that now?
A one cut, sir. Proof that on London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it. As a reminder to all policemen of our sworn duty. To patrol the streets of London town, uphold the peace of the common man. Sir! After such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fail, without a grumble. And without a wink of sleep. Because I know that applying of my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure.
So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then.
What's up? Just that one particular day I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. This is being put up with a lot being married to a bobby like me. Wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. Oh my god. I hate it. I hate it here. Get out of here, you normie. Get me out of here. No PDA in the courtroom, please. What a charming couple. Your young love is just a joy to behold. Shove off, Susanoo! A little over the top, perhaps. Then, can you describe what happened next? Get out. Get out, you two! How dare you sit here and be a young, happy couple in the presence of someone like me? Never guilty. Anyway, two silhouettes peered out of the fog in the pavement in front of us.
Two silhouettes? That's right, they were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. It was a rather plump figure followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. It doesn't sound exactly like the victim is pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume. Yes, unfortunately it does. It's certain that at the time, there was nobody else nearby. Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see. There's nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Is that gonna be part of a... I'm getting concerned with the whole, like, pulling on the scarf thing. Like, eventually, we're gonna start poking holes in their testimony, and the scarf's gonna get tighter and tighter. This poor man is gonna be in for a hell of a wake-up call, I feel. Or he's gonna be taking a much longer nap when this is all done. What? Ah, yes, that's right. Of course, there was a light fog on the ground. My road is dead straight. You can see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then there's the street lighting as well. I didn't see any other... Sir, before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer, please. Mr. Beat, are you quite sure of what you've just said? Yes, sir! It's a couple who spends all day, every day, keeping watch on the streets. I swear to it, sir! I'm sure. That's my love for Patricia. Get out! No! This is... And her name's Patricia because shortened is Pat. Pat and Rolly. Patrolly. Get out!
Still maintaining there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. Starting to seem like that must be how it really happened. Beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run. Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? You've left the scene all too convincingly.
Thank you. I believe I have a reasonably clear idea of the situation before the incident now. What happened in the crucial moments that followed?
All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and the other scared something before running off.
Hold it!
Scared something? What do you mean by that? Oh well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. Then when we got closer, we realized what it was.
did we, darling? Answer, darling.
What? Ah, yes, that's right. Some old books. I see. Old books.
Yes, sir. Go over and drop the number of them. Around with the victim lay on the pavement. Can you give me an exact number just out of curiosity? De-escalate a picture in this photographic print. One Japanese man did that when he did the deed.
Hold it!
Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker.
We saw him. It was the man in the dock without question. Sir. Mustache. Hunchback. Cat-like eyes. Top mouth. No.
Everything! Any more insults you want to throw in? That's right, he looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes. And suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
Why would he just throw his books on the ground? Why would he suddenly just throw them on the ground? Yes, I went and bought all these nice books from this store. I'm gonna stab this chick and just throw the evidence on the ground that I was here.
I see. This is tough. It seems as though they're telling the truth here.
The truth is absurd.
They remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please continue.
Yes, sir.
Now sure, of course, and I went for help at a nearby police box.
Hold it!
Was it your husband who went to fetch help? No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one after all. Is that right, my darling?
What? Ah, yes, that's right. I was supposed to speak to go. I was off duty by that point. Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to go this. Very laudable, Mr. B. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance. That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box.
Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box?
That's our crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. I told Patricia to wait to the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report it.
I mean, I couldn't ask for help from the Bobby on duty. There's nothing more important than a young couple in love working together, you know?
Thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens, and nothing more.
Oh, please, you're making us blush, isn't he, darling?
Sir, what Patricia said, sir.
Let's move on, shall we? There's definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him clear as day.
Hold it!
Surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the glass streetlights, would you?
Oh no! Oh no! Rolly, I'm sorry!
You're in for a long day. You absolutely could. Us learners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
I'm pretty sure you have stars in your eyes right now.
I don't trust you. Light for the street lamps was more than enough. My husband already told you the fog was really light, didn't he?
Yes. What the fog? We're friends far across the globe, I believe. It was an absolute mess to those of us who had to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is! And when it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm. Yes, alright, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about? I'm a little concerned, actually. Husband found Mr. Eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell you for sure and certain that was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling?
What? Yes, it was the accused and no mistake. Mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, top mouth, the unmistakable, sir!
As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. Soseki-san, they saw running away from the scene of the crime. Where do we go from here, though? That's it, is it? Is their entire testimony? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they saw, saw what they say they saw. Mr. Natsume ran away from the scene on Briar Road that day. Yes, I feel the same. So that's true. Where does it leave us? The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony. Oh no! What do we do? Kazuma-sama, we're here. What are you trying to say? I think you would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony. What do you mean somewhere else? The statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Only that in the question will help. But if you can identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them, to make the jury doubt the pair's memory of the day is accurate. Oh, right. But still, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. Though I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion. Why do I always seem to be so up against it? That's the life of an Ace Attorney protagonist, my man. Oh, Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something? What? Oh, yes, of course. What is it? Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... Seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right? Is it? Well, out with it! My husband will fight you! Totally without my help! Pop up! What? No. Oh no, it's really not that at all. My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail. Everything. Like... Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? Yes! Tell me all about the books. Tell me every single book. I tell you the names of every single one I could. Every single one. You dare question how reliable my testimony is? Please tell me all the books. These two are very silly. They sure are. No, it won't do it all. The Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. I'm very aware of what you're capable of now, and it makes me sick. If I decide to forgive him for something else, don't think for a minute I really will. I will make him pop up. I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fist down. Please put your husband's fist down. That's a hell of a quote right there, honestly. Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beach. Please do. Let that appease you. God, throwing one last punch. Well, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling? Tell me more, tell me more. Can you tell you the names of the 4 books he dropped at the scene?
Hold it!
Yes, we know that there were books dropped at the scene of the crime, as you say. Those purchased by the accused of the nearby second-hand bookshop on the day in question. I've been to the police box office for help. Well, I decided to have a good look over the area for good measure. I'm a proud policeman's wife, after all. Did Feroli. And what was your husband doing at the time? I was lying face down on the He was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest. I don't think... If your husband is lying face down in the snow, I should be concerned. I feel like we should be concerned. Please put your husband's fist down. I mean, it kind of wasn't by me, to be fair, but it is still a really good quote, I feel, so... It was ever so hard, you know? Ever so hard. Thank you, my darling. Missy could have died. Face down in the snow. He could have frozen to death. He could have choked on the snow. Save this poor man. I don't think we can save this poor man. I think this man likes this. That's concerning on its own. Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime. Well, Mrs. B, seeing as you regaled the court with details of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the tales of the books you observed at the scene? I'd be happy to. Are you all listening? There was a picture of Monsieur somebody or other, and what's it, earrings? Amazing. And there was a meal for someone, and the last one was definitely the thing gummies something. Outstanding. Standing ovation. I am standing for this. You see,
Yes, I see there are one or two holes in your memory.
Well, they were along those lines, I'm quite sure.
The something something and the story of someone. Got it. Excellent. My favorite books.
Man, I love reading about the meal of who's it called.
There were indeed books found at the scene with tales along those lines, as you put it.
What did I tell you? So I think it's very mean the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted.
Let me just check. Just out of sheer curiosity. Picture mush, picture meal, and Canterbury yearnings. The Thingummy something. Ah yes, I must learn all about the Thingummy something. I'll have to check my local library later and hope they still have it.
Do you agree, darling?
Who let him have that in the court? I don't trust this man with a gun. Anyone says my position, will have to answer to who? Will have me to answer to. Okay, back to sleep. Good night. Terrifying. Sickening.
Yeah, she really is.
Don't like a sleeping man with a gun's V8. Yeah, that sounds like a scary combination. You remember the books so well, I almost feel bad for completely slapping you in the face with this evidence. Almost.
Objection!
So, you're saying that there were 4 books? That's right, I remember all of them. The picture of Muncher somebody, what's it yearnings, a meal for someone, and the Thingummy something.
Excellent. Perfect recollection.
Sorry, Mrs. B. There's a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours. Oh no, what flaw? Simply that at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4. What? This is a receipt from the bookshop where the defendant bought his books. What books? Yes, and it details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day. As you can see, only 3 books are listed. Only 3? But no, that can't be. I've never seen them. There are 4 books, I tell you. 4 dirty old books. Up. Oh, really? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime.
Well, Fancy is just gonna be like, oh yeah, the 4th book is behind the body. It's gonna be a book that belongs to like this person because they bought a book at a bookshop themselves or something.
As you can clearly see from this evidence as well, there are only 3 books. But I just don't believe it. I saw them there, I swear it! I saw them! No, ma'am, I'm afraid your powers of observation cannot be relied upon. Cannot be denied. But though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken. Oh no! Oh no! No!
I'm glad the dude got up real quick after his wife had a little freak out. Up. It's plainly evident. It is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend.
What?
What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. The fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving.
Ah!
So you should remove our attention for that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair?
Ah, see right through me.
Your plan has somewhat recoiled against you.
What are you talking about?
Quite simple. Let me explain with a toast.
to the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect. Ah yes, her perfect memory of a meal for Whoozits and the thing gummies something. Huh. You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found.
Objection!
But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books.
Quite right. Only 3 can be seen in that print.
That print? You mean to say?
Ah! What is a man, my learned Nipponese friend? A miserable pile of secrets. Allow me to present another, one that shows the victim's hand. The lion's pride!
Wait a minute. I don't believe it. The 4th book.
As you will observe, the 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso.
No. No!
So about that 4th book. Order! Order!
Do we have evidence about that? No, we don't.
We have to talk to Joan Garrideb about it since she'd know then?
There, you see? You see? Look at that. Look.
Yes.
Just like I said, isn't it, my darling? Sir? Right, sir?
Let's say the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. B, the tales once again, if you please.
Oh, yes, of course. Picture of Monsieur somebody or other.
Picture of Monsieur Lecoq.
What's it, yearnings?
Canterbury yearnings.
A meal for someone.
A meal for Gabardot, in fact. Gabardot, whatever.
You think I know how to read these names? I can barely read English. And that's my only language I know.
As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book tales flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Mrs. B. Powers' recollection can only be described as exceptional.
You hear that, Rolly? Gentleman paid me the compliment. Sir, flawless, sir. Patricia's flawless. But there were only 3 books in the receipt. Mrs. B mentioned 4.
Nothing surprising about that. Clearly, the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print. Sorry, counsel, but that does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt? Not at all, my lord. The photograph clearly shows the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim.
About that. About that. Victim was holding her own book?
I wonder, what became of that 4th book? Obviously it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence.
We'll submit that and the aforementioned photographic prints to the court, please, counsel.
My pleasure, my lord. Crime scene photograph. Typically shows the victim's hand. The 4th book, book entitled The Lion's Pride, discovered the victim's hand at the scene. Prosecution rests. Fair enough.
Oh, look at this. Book has been badly burnt. You're right. I'd never be able to read in this scene. Especially not the latter pages.
Terrible waste. Scorched edges of where I think the damage must have occurred very recently. A book recently damaged by fire. I just seem to raise a red flag with. That cover is badly burnt. Let me see. It's a book entitled The Lion's Pride. I don't know any English literature at all. It wouldn't be something I've heard. Wait a minute. Lion's Pride? That's strange. I think I have heard of a book by that name before. Very recently, too. Title I recognize too, Mr. Naruhodo. People have no memories! I thought I was bad. You talked about this literally yesterday, people. Come on.
I have nothing further to add.
What?
Seem surprised, my learned friend. Your resistance till now has been entertaining, yes, but futile. It's various longer route to the accused lodgings that you try to establish in your summation examination. Attempted discrediting the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination.
Futile. Walked right into this, didn't I? See, everything we say is true. Isn't that right, my darling? That's Pat. Marry me, Pat. You're already married!
Perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their position. What waste any more time in this Nipponese travesty? Was the decision you have to make all too apparent already? Wait.
Yeah, they're married. They have the same last name.
Everyone means. You heard all the witnesses and seen all the evidence. The trial has run its course.
Naruhodo, I'm afraid we're in a terribly precarious position. I know, but if I back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Think, Rinosuke, think. What do you do now?
Well, last time I screwed around on this, I got screwed, so...
I'm not done yet!
No, my learned friend. It's over. My last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, but you failed. Die has been cast. There's no more room for debate.
Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... I can't think of what to say.
If I may, Lord Van Zeeks. It seems somewhat bored to close down the debate at this point. Your insignificant little eastern isle must be a lawless hole indeed.
Shove off!
The lowly judicial system has the audacity to intervene at a moment like this.
Oh. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. You'll have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable. It's Naruhodo.
One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance. So, we'll hear you, madam.
Go ahead, Mrs. Sato. Please.
Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished.
I see. You believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. I should have asked the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. Of course, he should have asked me to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. We must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible. Yes, I understand. And thank you, Mr. Sato. This is it. Sato has managed to win us one last chance here. Can't let it go to waste. Defense wishes to present evidence, my lord.
Very well. Defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked.
Take that!
The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. Fourth book found the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Ah!
Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afford you this opportunity, you have the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. We'll identify this clue at once. But make myself clear.
Oh, yes, my lord. It's Naruhodo. I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence. Which means may very well be on the right track. Yes, I think you might be right.
So, Counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case which this fourth book conceals?
Got it!
Very bizarre for a book to be burned, is it? But that's the cord reserved at the back of the book in question.
Back? What do you... Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp!
We have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It's undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponiese friend? Oh! Where to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clues to what happened that day? Ray, do enlighten us all. Truth is this charred book hide. Charred book. There's just one possibility here that I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory.
Don't keep us waiting any longer then, Counsel. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage the sorry Thomas suffered?
I know somebody who had the lion's pride that burned in a fire recently. Hey Lord, the burn the back of this book reveals a startling truth. But the book's owner.
Beg your pardon?
But we already know who the book belongs to. Do you? If the one's gripping it in her hands, she fell to the floor after all. It's obviously hers. The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hands is yet to be answered. However, as the question of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense very credible answers.
Good gracious! What could possibly...
Very well, I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry.
You know all about people being burned at the stake, don't you, not Dracula? Also, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. Tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book?
Mr. Garadeb!
Take that!
Require a bit of an explanation here. Answer is that this book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. Sir and Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb! Landlords! Whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but... all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for the jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garadeb herself.
Oh my goodness! Me? I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garrett's wife. I'm his maid.
This would be so much easier. You would just drop the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garadeb's house?
I would never presume to know all the books he keeps, sir.
Objection!
This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused landlady, you say? You implicate this hardworking member of the public. You besmirch her without a shred of evidence. We talk to her. Her actions are unforgivable.
Objection!
This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed in the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house.
Good lord! What sort of incident, counsel?
Fire, my lord.
Where just where it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. Whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bally thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. Bally furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite, called the Lion's Pride.
Lion's Pride.
By Jove, the very same title is the subject of this debate. Oh dear me!
Objection!
This is reasonable. Reasonable? Hold on. Such as to provoke laughter.
Visible.
This is risible. I've told the chorus that a book by the same name was involved in a fire. In which case, it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. Entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Damn discord! Fucking everything up again. Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garrett was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garrett even amid the flames. Oh, awful! Can't even imagine me so hard to the one you love. Can you, Rolly? Absolutely not, sir! Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir! If you raise your fingers, ball them up into a fist, throw them around for you. That's for sure. Oh, my favorite old novels. Wait. I love my favorite old novels in that case. As soon as the fire got a hold of them, that was it. Whoosh! And smoke. And the wife started hurling things at me. She grabbed a flaming book and threw it at you? I was, back up against the window, under heavy enemy fire. Incendiary book. Oh my god, he did say that, didn't he? He did actually say that. When he said that, I didn't think that meant that she started throwing the books. My hands back up against the window. He had burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious! Are you suggesting the book was thrown through a window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection!
No. A thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident. There was no report of the garage window pane being broken. That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Garrett household. It is not conceivable that the window was open at the time and... Not even remotely. Let's not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. No London would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter. Ah! The defense postulated the scenario in all seriousness, counsel. You earnestly claim the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Garadev's wife. I believe it's a possibility, my lord. Quite enough! Who said that? Who said that? Pat, what? No! It was you. Of course it was you. Well, I hope that everyone can see what you are now, you little foreign trickster! You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward! A being coward! And you're kind of psycho! It wasn't even the dude's name and you flew off the handle! You are those tips of the whole neighborhood alike, honestly! Blind I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake. How could you? Something that was this beastly case, I even I've done a silly our family's name! No, I assure you, that was never my intention! Writing upstanding citizens' names will much lead to divert attention for your failing defense! She definitely just tried to slap the guy next to him. I think out of all the people, he's the one dude you don't want to go slapping around, lady. Box your ears, that's what I should do. Totally unforgivable. I don't want to get hit by this woman. I saw the lasting damage this woman left on the husband. Too right. Here we go. How long have we sat here now, listening to this Nipponi spouting a spicy foreign theory? But, think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with the mustache. He ran away from the scene, too. I do declare you're right. It's true. Yes, what did I tell you? Makes sense to me. Sorry? What's that? Well... It would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What's your position, Lord Van Zeeks? In truth, Lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then one must always exercise patience in order to save the best vintage. No! Wait! The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... If books are your predilection, my learned friend, say them in your own time. What, no forgiveness courtesy this time? Ass. Telling us to talk to the foot. Ugh.
In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do not state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty!
Guilty.
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 Guilty!
I was hoping that he would just not know anything. As I thought, we're getting a second summation examination, I assume.
Thank you for that unambiguous response.
Twice now! It's over! No, don't give up! Sal? You've forgotten? Battle isn't over yet. You're not suggesting... Of course, Fess has the right to another summation examination at this point. We tried so hard to avoid it last court that I wasn't sure if we only had the one or not, but... Just as I thought before, it looks like we're totally going to have to do multiple summation examinations for court now. I'm still convinced the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance. I have one more chance until what exactly is stopping me from just summation examining them every single time they all declare guilty? My lord, the defense asks to exercise its right to a summation examination. You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve? I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. There's no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. Wait, we're to be continuing now? Excuse? I guess they are going to break up the trial. Usually they break up the trial, like, break for recess, not just, like, in the middle. We're about to do the next bit.
I consider the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury. And I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you now proceed with your second summation examination. How many of these are you going to be doing in one day? Just out of sheer curiosity. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman.
We are, my lord.
Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime.
Additional findings. Round 2. Jurors' contentions.
Hughes left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
If there was some no alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider.
Even though the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it?
Dear me, it was only a little book.
Hardly left threatening even with a direct hit. Look, I just want to get this over with. But don't bring home some pages, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble.
Come to think of it, we had fire at home a while ago.
Gave me the sneezes.
Yes, considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. One notable exception, of course.
I learned soon from was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. The court must accept the fact that I was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover... Ah! Have at thee, Mr. Naruhodo! No one else was even at the scene to commit the crime.
Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I don't see how it can be argued any other way.
It means I'm afraid that during the summation examination, eventually you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts. How? Will that even constitute a tangible explanation here?
Isn't that obvious? Who stabbed the woman, and how? Those two details are all you need to provide. Can you give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted? I was thinking this might be hard. Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends. Ugh, no pressure then.
Quite enough preamble. Stay with the summation examination, please. I presume you're prepared, Consul?
Oh, yes, my lord. Alright, Ryunosuke, focus your mind now.
They do the double slap! Hell yeah, double slap. Can't wait till we're doing 4 summation examinations in one courtroom. He slapped himself 4 times in the face.
See the key to summation examination. Going to be juror number 4, the maid. Should I say Mrs. Garadeb? The book that disappeared from the Garadeb's house on the evening of the incident. The 4th book found in the victim's hand. There must be a way to link the two. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far, whatever it takes. I am Mrs. Garadeb and how she reacts. Even to the things other people say. We're doing the whole reaction thing in here? I guess we haven't used it any other time so far today. Jury examination! That's his rebuttal.
He was left behind evidence to deceive, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
Hold it! As we now know, there were 4 books, not 3.
Well, what difference does it make?
There's every possibility the 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord.
Yes, that's the part I have a problem with.
Sorry?
Well, the point the woman was stabbed. This landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? During a fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said.
That's not exactly how he put it, no.
Anyway, point is, the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened.
I think that's what you call a strong alibi. But, I mean, the alibi was never the thing.
It could have been the landlord who did. Julie leaves the Nipponese fellow. Also, I can't see what all this palaver's about. It's a done deal, isn't it?
I suppose it is, since I have nothing witty left to say. There was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed I might reconsider.
Hold it!
So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean? Oh my, such a delay in your face. I'm afraid I shouldn't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I am a very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman. That's great. One reads the morning papers is all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? You see, modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking. When you say, I don't remember shit, that means I am a model woman. And now at all extreme. As I see, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. Despite 1 or 2 minor puzzlements, I do declare the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and rational logic. Maybe a little racist. When you say overwhelmingly. Most modern gals are always delayed to embrace new fads, you know? I'd be only too happy to consider explaining new theories if come up with one. I'd be happy to do that too, if only I could. So my very best not to disappoint modern, metropolitan, lady. Right, glad you admitted irrational there. Even the woman was throwing books can't be related to this crime. The window was closed, can it? Hold it! But what was the possibility the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been. How can you be so sure? The prosecutor fellow over there said earlier, didn't he? Windows in London are no joke. Don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see? You couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, could you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. Then what's the point of even having windows? What's the point of having windows in winter if you can't open it and have all the cold air in? Why have them at all if you can't open them in winter?
Consul, you will kindly refrain from childish bickering.
Oh, sorry. Reminding you to show there's an undeniable possibility the window was open.
Why do we have windows anyway? They used to tax us on windows! Why do we have windows? Block up all the windows! We don't need them anymore! It's current year, folks! Fuck windows.
This young man isn't going to budge otherwise.
Believe me, it was in the middle of a book. Hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit.
Hold it!
The little book was on fire at the time, was it not?
With flames of love, I'll have you know. That's nuts! I think you two need to see a divorce lawyer or something. I don't provide, I'm sorry.
There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb.
Well, he brought it upon himself. Display the fire to betray a fiery love. Isn't it? Well, do you agree?
Oh, well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes.
Betrayals are bad. Thank you, Ryunosuke. Thank you for this insight.
I think your argument may have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garrett.
Never you mind that. The plan is we were just having a little jovial dispute, nothing more. I love anyone who suggests that was anything whatsoever to do with this crime.
Right, well, we'll see about that. What about jury number 5? Doesn't seem to be turning a hair compared to his relentless onslaught. It's just like he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is.
I mean, he does have a wife and kids. He probably is used to it.
Probably also barely feels it past those tree trunk arms of his.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some payday, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble.
Hold it!
You just want to get this over with? How do you sit there and say something like that? A man's future is at stake here.
Well, him and me both then, like I said before.
What?
Told you already, I'm a day laborer, aren't I? I don't bring home some rays with me tonight. You'll find me floating face down the Thames tomorrow morning. That's concerning, sir.
What?
You heard me. My missus doesn't want to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, believe you me.
Another shining example of marital bliss, then.
Situation was cropped up the other day. It was, well, you know, it's funny. I can't quite remember.
Huh? Sorry?
Too frightening. Too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blocked it out. Helpful.
Wonder if he is whether we tried the Thames by a scar.
Oh, trust me. Trust me, I think he'll get a very rude wake-up call when that happens.
Don't even go there, Mr. Sato. There must be some way to jog his memory about this.
Look, we had a fire home a while ago. Maybe the sneezes.
Hold it!
Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defense's culpability in this case?
Sorry, what's that? You'll have to speak up, lad.
Can you tell us more about that fire?
Last winter, the grandchildren make me a lovely cake on my birthday. At 75 candles on top it did. You poor man! What a sight to behold it was.
You put candles on a cake? What is the kind of devil worship? The Japanese told us their tradition of putting candles on a cake. I want to see that in an SMT game now. You just have a birthday cake, you put the candles on it, and a demon pops out. You've done the ritual.
Of course not! It was an angel cake! Celebrate my birthday, obviously!
Is that common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo?
Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. I must have blown wrong somehow. Flames didn't go out, but candles went flying all over the room.
What?
Virgin caught, everything went up. Whole place filled with smoke.
Definitely sounds like a devil worship to me. And by the scenes, I presume you mean a cold. How'd you catch a cold from a fire?
A fiasco it was. Grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. But because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course. I had to open all the windows to clear it.
Windows?
Flying winter air rushed over me like the devil dancing on my grave and then a terrible cold from it. I'll be in hospital for a while. Won't forget that birthday in a hurry.
I knew it was devil worship all along! Think about this old man's story is playing on my mind for some reason. Open the windows to let the smoke out. Come on, it's right there! He needs to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, would have attacked the young woman on the street.
well as how he or she could have done it. Yes, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary. You're going to need to put them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation. Yes! I don't necessarily need to find contradiction between their assertions. Just a connection might do the trick. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Anything that stands out, I'll go for a strike. Spirit? I'm wondering if I need to press, like, this... I'm wondering if I need to press a statement again, because I feel like... The game seems to, like, hint that, like, we're gonna have to look for, like, Mrs. Garrett's reaction to a thing. Oh, wait, there we go. I just now noticed the text changed.
Where house fires are dire, to open windows to clear the smoke. That's when the chill gets you see.
Hold it!
Did you change your statement from before?
Oh yes, it was one of my most memorable birthdays, you see. I couldn't let it go unremembered.
Sure, the defendant will be delighted that you're using his trial to explore your past. How is that memory related to this case exactly?
Sorry, what's that? You'll have to speak up, I'm afraid.
Never mind. He's as deaf as a post, and he wants to be. Actually, Soulmate's antidote. I just provide the alternative explanation I need to make my points to some of the other jurors.
Use unlit candles my birthday this year. It's safer that way.
That's sheer curiosity. It related to the crime, the window was closed, but what if it wasn't closed because of the fire?
Objection!
These two juror statements clearly contradict one another.
They do? How exactly, counsel?
Don't point at me again! I told you it wasn't me!
Huh? What's that you say? Speak up, lad, speak up!
Juror number 3, do you see? Oh, me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Yes, of course, because it was an emergency! I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then he'd be mad not to open the... Oh! Exactly! The day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garrett's household. Mr. Garrett had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh my.
My hat! Oh, my hat! Wait, this is happening during the... Wait, but then... Hold on. Therefore, to clear the smoke, either Mr. Garrett or his wife will most certainly open the window. That you can't deny would be in no way out of the ordinary. No, I suppose it wouldn't.
You get to my age, you learn a thing or two, you know. I can tell you. You'd have to be a prize idiot not to open the window if there was a fire, eh?
Yes, of course! I think I need to reconsider my statement. Yes, please do! That's a step in the right direction. I think. Wait. It could have been open when the woman was throwing books. I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
Hold it!
The way when the victim was attacked on Briar Road, you know there was a small house fire in the Garrett household on the opposite side of the street. Well, yes, it certainly seems that way. On account of the smoke, I imagine they would have had the windows wide open in spite of the cold. Yeah, this is basically just like, oh, you didn't do it while this was happening, here's the run back. Also, Mrs. Garrett was throwing flaming books at her husband. Her husband, who was backed into a corner by the window due to his wife's frenzied attack. Yes, that's right. There's definitely a chance that one of the books could have flown past the man out the window. Only what? Only I can't really see how it could have gone all the way over to the other side of the road, that's all. Ah! So I don't really see how I can change my decision, really. Oh, I see. That wasn't enough. What's it going to take to persuade these people? Yeah, they're definitely making it more complicated now. I'm not even sure if this is actually going to change. So, let's get on with it. Yeah, we haven't pursued in a long while. Turn number 4. Do you have something to say about that? Wait, I gotta spill... Yeah, I gotta, like, pour yourself an infinite cup of tea until it's no longer infinite and you burn your hand? Come on. Mrs. Garradeb!
How dare you me? What's the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am?
It's imperative you confirm something for the court. Well, please, it's time to drop the pretense now.
What is it?
Fire story in your house that day. Did you or your husband open the window?
I beg your pardon. What are you insinuating?
The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet bookcase caught fire as they did. A situation like that, it's inconceivable you wouldn't have opened the windows.
Well, we did. Alright then. Yes, you're right. Asma was frantically trying to open the window. Can't have been easy since I continued to give him a justly deserved book battering.
Even though your house was on fire.
Oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise.
I think you people need counseling. Of course, I should have realized. That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You managed to establish that the window was open. Someone must have that as Mrs. Garrett's formal statement.
I mentioned, yes, the window was open at the time. I clean forgotten, but it's true.
Hold it!
The 4th book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. The title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garrett told us he'd been reading.
Well, I really couldn't say.
On the day in question, did you or did you not throw your husband a copy of The Lion's Pride that you've been reading?
I didn't. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. Now you come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right.
Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset?
Because I called you insolent little man! I didn't remember! Sounds like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on, well, as well you know.
I really don't.
I barely noticed I was throwing a book, much less the title of it.
Huh? Right, totally understandable.
I mean, you can't waste time deciding what to use next, can you? When you feel the way I did, you don't care what it is, you just want to smash it into his face!
You see where violence can lead, Mr. Sato. I'm just hard to think you might believe me capable of such behavior. I will throw you for this disrespect, Naruhodo. Anyway, I have a feeling I may have noticed someone reacting a little strangely to Mrs. Garrett's remarks just now. Perhaps I missed something while I was preoccupied. Preoccupied, Naruhodo?
Hold it! Oh boy! Excuse me!
What is it, juror number 5? What is that bodybuilder pose you're doing? You know something? I remember what it was. That memory I blocked out. I was listening to what this granny was saying. Brought all flooding back.
Granny! I don't call you a granny, you cheeky devil! I'm Mrs. Garrett! Well, the maid, I'll have you know!
Man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time.
I'm so used to being hit all the time. It was about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home after work, like. Put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day. And I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out.
Lestrade! Oh dear, what disaster.
You haven't heard the half of it, boy.
Oh?
But this guy got so chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I lost today's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear. That is actually concerning. Stuck into the wall next to me, it did, about an inch deep. No words, just terror. I could smell it then, you know. That god-awful stench of the Thames. I'm sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Case 4 is literally just all about, like, getting married is fucking awful. Be a loner. Live in, like, a shitty little rundown apartment with no windows and a cat statue. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it?
I'll never use the word lightly again.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. The woman moves their rifle, throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it.
No, you mustn't think that all women are so
Short-tempered, never fine, or I will throw you.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
Throwing hostile objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. Clearly throwing people is better. Let me show you. I used to attack with honor, using a bow with, like, a bow. I think it's supposed to be a bow, but...
What? Attack? Who are you going to attack?
Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think. Alright, we'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later, if you dare. There wasn't even an arrow before. She's just going to throw a bow at you. A woman in a rage will hurl almost anything at you. Just a knife really brought that home to me.
Hold it!
Did I really throw a kid a knife at you?
That's right, she was chopping meat with a tiny edge on it, believe me. Still, it's all memories, isn't it? Start with that smile she threw me when we were recording. Since then, the list of things she's thrown at me has grown along with our relationship. There's a cup, and a glass, and a pot, a kettle, a chair, a wart. She picked up a fucking wart, a cooker, a bathtub! Sir? Sir, I'd like to meet your wife.
Your wife must be even beefier than you.
Things came to a head last week when she threw me right into the Thames. She actually threw you in the Thames? So she's not so bad when she's calmed down. She's a little sweetheart, really.
I'm so happy for you.
Wanna know what I think? I think this whole idea of ladies first that we're so obsessed with in this country was solved by some clever lads who've been tossed in the Thames a few too many times by their wives! Chivalry? Ladies first? Clearly a whipped boy! Whipped by the wife!
Jesus. That's a very interesting theory.
What terrible thought.
In the face of it, Sura's statement just sounds like a really extreme antidote. I think it might turn out to be an extremely powerful weapon. A weapon I might be able to use to make the jurors accept an alternative explanation here.
A rage will hurl almost anything at you, including a knife. Knife got flew out the window.
Objection!
I'll toss into the Thames when? That comes later. That comes next case, I'm sure. Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. Good grief, you mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once.
Juror number 2, do you think perhaps this could be one such novel alternative? Oh, Mike, whatever do you mean? An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back.
What are you talking about?
Demonstrated in the 4th book, the Lion's Pride that's found at the scene of the crime originated in Mr. Garrett's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from the Garrett household to the street below.
What's this now?
After all, Mrs. Garrett could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4?
What are you doing now, you little beanpole?
I'm beginning to think that, ever since the true origins of the book came to light, perhaps she's had feelings this might be what happened. Stay listen here, you Eastern Gala! The foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer.
Gala? Small Australian cockatoo with a gray back and rosy pink head and underparts abundant and regarded as a pest. Yeah, this dude is Australian. Again, Vernon Crow, come pick up your countryman.
Give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house. But what? What was it? I'm really taking a big gamble here. That's a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. certain. At the very least, this warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Garrett household to the scene of the crime was... nothing else could be but the NIF.
Take that!
It's a regular old NIF, it could be anyone's! Which means that the Reaper is going to be like, oh yeah, we did a fingerprint analysis, it was only the Japanese guy. It was only Natsume's. Vernon, please get your man. Vernon plays Great Ace Attorney when... Vernon even played the Ace Attorney series, I wonder? Here number 4, Mrs. Garrideb. What? What now? I must apologize in advance for this. I need you to confirm something else for the court. This NIF. Have you ever seen this NIF before? Ah!
Good Lord, Castle, what on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged in the victim's back, man!
I think so, yeah. Now, the next question is, has Vernon played... I wonder, did Vernon play Great Ace Attorney? I know Pat was in the middle of playing it. I know Val and Novell were in the middle of playing it. Val and Novell were in the middle of playing it. Would make sense that Vernon would pop up to watch. And Lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garrett was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window. A window had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene.
You can't seriously believe that! The book was found in the victim's grasp!
You see, that flew out the window across the street to land neatly in her hand.
Huh? Even Mrs. hasn't got an aim like that!
Yes, I admit, there are many details which we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why we must not allow this trial to end. Not right now. Why? Ah! Mrs. Garrett, your answer, please. Have you seen this NIF before or not?
Oh!
Oh, that seems like a pretty clean confirmation to me. Lord! I wish I changed my decision. Oh, well, I would, after all. Thank you, madam.
Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but...
He's actually turning Cohen in this one, too?
I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions.
The foreman!
I'd have to agree. If I think the grind didn't mind.
Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either.
All together now, ladies and gents.
Trial's back in line. We did it! Congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo. See, they are going to change up the judicial examination or summation examination a bit like that.
For the rule of defense and summation examination, a number of jurors' leanings have changed. The jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided. This trial will continue.
So here comes Fancy to be like, oh yeah, only Natsume's fingerprints around the NIF. Here comes the ejection. Here comes the ejection. No?
Now then, Lord Van Zeeks, the prosecution wishes to proceed.
You're gonna crush the glass, you're gonna... rapidly descending into a farce. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough.
There it goes!
But what follows is so repugnant it's good for nothing save the gutter.
If I may, Lord Van Zeeks, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation of what happened.
Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke which I barely know how to respond. But let me start by insisting. You must all familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of those places being discussed. What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time? already be more than apparent that between the Franksky and the Garrett household, there's a rather wide street Briar Road. Jury number 3 did kind of bring it up himself, like, during his own, pressing. I don't know, could it really have flown that far? I mean, sure, a woman's rage is nothing to sneeze at, but... which means that the distance from the Garrett's house to the scene is some, yes, 15 yards. Let me see, 15 yards, it's around 14 meters. 14 meters? Well, that's a little farther than I imagined. As you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly know as having pretentious significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, a smoldering book wantonly thrown by the lady of the house traveled some 15 yards. It landed on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the last victim's fingers and thumb. Come on, let's not be unreasonable here. Clearly the dude picked it up because why would you not... Wait, would you pick up a smoldering book in the snow that just rolled past your head? That your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend. The jackknife fall near identical trajectory to plunge in the middle of the victim's back. This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Look, the victim has the worst luck in the world, but they're not dead, so it could be worse, alright? Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. Ah! He's insulting her like Sholmes! Get him, Susato! That's all I can say to that. That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice. Susato! Serialized detective stories are pathetic, aren't they? How dare he! I must throw someone for this! Come here, Ryunosuke! Maybe let's pick our battles here. My lord, may I be allowed to speak?
As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense, yes. Go ahead.
Prosecution may consider the idea of a fantasy. What the defense postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. As such, courts have to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end... Don't peter out now! Jury number 4, Mrs. Joan Garadeb, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination. Can the juror be called to cross-examine even in the 50s?
Saints alive!
It's cross-examination of a juror.
Order! 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 Well, this is highly irregular. It's unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Objection!
Someone got hit by that bottle! This man is a menace. This is why they call him the Reaper of the Bailey. And unnecessary.
Lord Fancy! Oh.
There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. My learned friend's farcical theory has any truth. Both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. And you must assume they would be able to testify accordingly. Dude is out for lunch, so I think it's gonna be all the whiff. All the whiff. All the wife. I mean, I guess if I'm saying it's Niff, it makes sense to say it like that, but still, I have standards.
What say you, witnesses?
Pop up. Yes, sir. That's more really people going for doing, sir. Well, good morning, officer. Where have those until now, sir? I was for a month. Oh, month! I was for a month. I can't film who's appeared on my pizza. Oh, they are so heroic, these London bobbies.
Trisha, my darling, I've been neglecting you.
But no more. Get out! No! Send them away! Put the maid on the stand! Oh, really, my hero? You make me swoon. BRB gonna go vomit a bit after that, so...
keep forgetting to go and mute my mic when I leave. Also, yes, hi, I'm back. I totally only vomited and did not give myself food since my stomach is now growling and I'm hungry for lunch. Hold on. Oh, alright. I'm feeling a little better already. Let's continue. Well, I have already checked the defense's request. Oh. Another witness in the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events. Yes, sir! Possible piece report. Guess it's nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Canada. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his word. See, sir! Windows on the top floor of the Garden house are top hinged casements. Top hinged casements? Obviously, if anything had been thrown out the window, we would have seen it. They'd leave the scene to go and fetch help, but my trusty Willie was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir! Nothing strange upon on that front, sir! You would have seen it before it all happened, come on! Wait, no, we literally need to be like... Well, this is quite startling. Top hinged casement windows. That detail was not in the police report, Constable. Oh yes, I'm sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy. Can I excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable? If he's been up for a month straight with less than sufficient sleep, trust me, you're gonna be fucked up. Get some sleep, people. Trust the person who, like, stays up past 5 a.m. on most weekends. Get your sleep. Oh, sir? I'm sorry, but what exactly is a top-hinged casement window? And you. I excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend. I am not from here. I have been here for 2 days. Of course, sorry. Found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Pass your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's room. Alright, I'll try. Window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. Oh, it's one of those windows. This is a top-hinged casement window which swings open along the upper edge, you see. Glad you've rectified your ignorance. Casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, an elbow which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. It prevents its opening? This is all news to me. Absolutely correct, sir! In other words, if a book or nip would have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below. I'm trying to wonder if maybe the angle will allow it to fly that far, but... No! See the problem then? Good. Your education in Windows is complete. Finally, I'm a certified window man. I'm a certified window man, apparently. There's never any possibility of either the book or the nip traveling 15 yards over the road. That is unless the window pane has been shattered. Something we've discounted already. I can't be. You see that, Rolly? I think a Japanese man just collapsed in agony. Oh yes, my darling, I saw it. I see how he crumbled before me. Oh, Rolly, you're so strong. How's this happening? I heard the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been destroyed. We gotta bury these two lovebirds.
Also, if you could dry yourself up right again, or rates your cross-examination.
my lord. Oh good, another desperate situation. Constable Beats report. This has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Gardner. Believe me, London Bobby's good for his word.
Hold it!
How do you say that for certain?
Very good question, sir. The answer is this. This is the noble founding principles of the force written on as a reminder to all of us policemen of our sworn duty.
He showed us that before, didn't he? Did he? I can't say I remember.
Patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. That's what the job's all about. That's why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you Bobby's good for his word. While rubbing my tired eyes, admittedly. Sir! Oh, Rolly, you're so manly. Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Get these two off! Pat, oh, Rolly, ugh. No, none of this is what I meant.
I mean, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garradeb?
I see. I see, sir. Should have said so earlier, sir.
I was saying so! Get your mouth. Stop fawning over your damn girl and listen! Yes, well, so could you answer the question? That was a waste of time then.
Solely, sir. I'll answer to the fullest of my abilities, sir. The surprising reason Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's message can be related to this case. Before I get into that, sir, just one thing.
Yeah? Yes?
Very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard. I hope to take back some tales of us London Bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles.
I wasn't planning on going back just yet. Only just arrived here.
Then, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal.
Oh?
I must warn you, we'll be able to get through without shedding a few tears.
Thank you, I'll try. Okay. Constable Beats warrant card, small folding wallet that identifies London Bobbies and contains the rules of conduct to which they must adhere. Take a quick look at that. And number 1, police will strive to preserve peace within his allotted beat. Number 2, a patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. Metropolitan police regulations. And number 1, any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they have discovered. And number 2, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman will assist with initial investigations to help detectives. Now I think about it though, that wasn't your beat, was it? Did we make a point to mention that, like, you had to, like, tell your wife, like, which police box to go to because that wasn't actually your beat?
Hold it!
Which you mean they don't open fully, is that correct? Yes, sir!
They're allowed bit after the house, you see. They're restricted as to how much they open.
Therefore, anything thrown out the window from inside the room. We strike the pane falls to the street directly below. Clarity allow me to mark the map. Here's the location where objects were fallen.
Yes, directly opposite to the crime on the other side of the rather wide road.
Man, it's been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinge casement thing before.
We have to have the dramatic reveal in court. Revealing all the evidence for the defense to review before the trial. That gets in the way of drama. We can't have that. This is Ace Attorney. We gotta have all of the drama.
I have another question for you, Constable.
What would that be, sir?
How do you even know?
Do you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's house is furnished with?
Well, sir, that's very simple. Yeah, how was the investigation yesterday? Not sure if I want to follow up on that.
No, no way.
Various members of the public marching in order to gain information about the case. That's right, sir. Sad truth is, we're all overworked. Even though it wasn't under the jurisdiction of my own beat, I obviously wanted to help.
See. Well, thank you. Oh, is it my turn now? If anything had been thrown out the window, we would have seen it.
Hold it!
According to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark. Oh, really? I was strolling along, gazing at the night sky, looking for a lucky star.
I don't think you need to go looking for stars. You have plenty of stars in your eyes. I'm gonna keep saying that.
Alright. I'll look at us with eternal happiness.
Can't guide you and answer the question. Flaming book cut the flaming book across the sky in front of us. Overlapped like a shooting star.
If I see a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. If I'd really been an inspector, I would have said 3 times at least.
Of course, with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars. In short, are you trying to say that neither a book nor a nip crossed the sky before you?
Sir, that's correct, sir.
That shows a nice guy in London is starless, sir.
Certainly seems like they're telling the truth. Maybe some poor woman falls to the ground, so he ran straight over to help her. I can't believe seeing to go and fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure that nothing was disturbed.
Hold it!
Totally did not fall asleep at any point. And fall asleep face first into the snow. Yes, you said you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer, is that right? That's right, yes. Yeah, but Rolly, you wouldn't know exactly where I was going, of course.
Go by my love. You may expect to know the location of every police box on every beat.
Don't tell me the way. Only, I've got a little lost in the way. Oh.
Especially my daughter was kind of looking a terrible sense of direction!
Bewitching to me!
You will know your left from your right! That's why you're the apple of my eye!
Oh, man! Oh, please. I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. Like I said, my Rolly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed.
We'll go through the time, of course. But True Bobby is never really off duty, sir. Didn't take my eyes off the crisis for a moment, sir. Nothing strange upon that front, sir.
Hold it!
Nothing to report.
Those are words that bring back memories. That's right, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. I was approaching the scene, nothing was removed from it. I swear that I'm the yacht's owner, sir.
Really? That seemed a little strange.
Beg your pardon, sir? Strange, sir. It's a little regular to me.
The burnt copy of the Lion's Pride was originally in the Garrett household. The question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? You should have lay on that scene as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time.
Ah, could be a different copy, sir? But it just happened to be burnt.
They're just, you know, just everyone's copy of the Lion's Pride just going up in the flames on that night. Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? Since he can spoil her print, she had a bag over her shoulder.
Oh, sir? The book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene.
That's so. About this Stephen, it's not sitting right with me.
Mysteries have had it nipping it up in her back and had it picking it up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them.
So sorry, Mr. Naruhodo. I have no right to speak out.
What do you mean?
Press this cross-examination Mrs. Garrett without consulting me. And the judge did deny me.
Oh, I see. Well, I agree with you. You need testimony from Mrs. Garrideb. For everyone to get to the truth of this matter. You really think so? Well, think about it. No matter how far it is across the road, how that window opens, Mr. Garrideb's book found its way to the scene of the crime somehow, didn't it? You're right. And then there was Mrs. Garrideb's reaction to me showing her the nip. Woman's hiding something. I'm sure of it. Right again. We need to use this cross-examination to uncover more clues. We'll get to the bottom of this one way or another. I swear. Yes!
But first... Which...
Hold it! When was it where she reacted?
There's 3 or was it 4? I completely misremembering it was 2. It was 2, wasn't it? I suck!
Hold it! Excuse me.
You have something to say, miss?
It's like the add Mrs. Beat. Sorry? You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that? Oh, I was just remembering. That's all. We really were so lucky.
Lucky? What do you mean?
We're so lucky to watch someone almost die in front of us. Oh, it's so exciting. Of course, I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. We were just so lucky to have him Rolly's beat. We're so close, you see.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Oh yes, that street, Briar Road. It's the boundary between Rolly's Beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love? Constable B!
Yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with interviewing the occupants of the Garden household yesterday. Or else it's not my beat, you see. So...
And I really was kind of close then. Fortunately, it seems like that does confirm that. Because I was wondering, like, maybe there's a chance that, like, the crime act. Maybe there's a chance that the stabbing actually happened on the other end of the road, and the body just got moved later, but. Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. The Garrett household's on your beat. That means the pavement next to it is as well?
Outside Mr. Garrett's house? Yes, ma'am. The pavement on the side of the road is part of my beat.
See, I was unaware of that. Just think, the one had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road. We'd never been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's the life of a bobby, after all.
Ordinary people are bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners.
You know, I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my royalty for his hard work. Don't you think so, my darling?
That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it.
I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record. Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately.
These files information has been updated.
Now it's my turn, I think. Can I ask you something? Please, Mr. Lawyer, sir? Oh, yes, of course. What is it? You're doubting us, aren't you? You can tell.
It's all part of the job, lady!
What? I wasn't really... I mean, what's she doing? Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony less valuable. I just seem it's the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman by what I am. Watch as I hide behind my man and punch you with my man. Bump up. I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you. No excuses. No, I hear it. Voice will be heard. My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you?
Yes, Mrs. B, I'll supplement your testimony if you so desire.
You did such a bang-up job last time, the way you remembered all 4 of the book's names. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one.
That was a very loud mutter. I heard that! That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's work counts for nothing, does he? Watch out, sir. Not that you get away with something like that, but my Rolly won't. I'll make sure he doesn't. You better not let him get away with that, Rolly. Bump up! Duly noted, Mrs. Beat. Please, I humbly ask you continue. What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder? That's right, she has a bad sense of direction. I wonder... No, I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction is a little off sometimes, though.
Hold it!
Mrs. B, nobody is questioning what you've told us. Still, I did. That evening, I saw it clearly. A little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back slinking away from the scene. I know I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flying books or nifs flying over the sky. All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction. Oh, yes. Well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I always ended up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Rolly. He's ever so cross. Oh well, we've all made mistakes like that from time to time. I've never made that mistake before. I totally know my lefts from my rights. Don't question it. It's fine, Lamp isn't here to say anything. At the wrong church on the day of our wedding, I remember. Caused a terrible kerfuffle. We nearly got married, that's why I'd never even met before! Screw it. Went to the wrong place. Married the wrong guy. It's fine. They just let it through anyway.
I will certainly not do, madam.
So who are you dating before, Rolly, exactly? Just out of curiosity.
Hey, wait, can you use their testimony, please, Constable?
Yes, sir?
Hold it! Excuse me.
Rolly, would you like to comment on your wife's very poor sense of direction? Constable Beat, is there a problem? No, sir. No problem, sir. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Well, anyway, sir. Yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening is all.
You mean Mrs. Beat lost her way on an amazing incident?
I see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next beat over from mine. She was gone a fair bit longer than I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes. My darling was gone a good 15. I must swoon over the way you are tardy.
Oh, Rolly, you're such a tease. I don't think this is the thing we should be teasing about. Not in the court. The reason I was so long was because of the bouquet, silly.
Bouquet.
Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about? Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Really so romantic. Why are you all getting a what? He said for with he's saying that for with following his halfpennies he found the guy while doing his round. Yes, how romantic. I forgot all about it until just now. Are you, my darling?
Ah! Oh, yes. That was just between us. Not talking about anyone else, darling. It's a promise.
Don't worry, we'll keep your secret. It's between you, her, me, Susao, Van Zeeks, the judge, these 6 jurors, everyone who's in the gallery. It's fine. It's a trade secret.
Really? Oh. What's that all about? This will be looked very obviously trouble during that exchange. I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruhodo. Quite sure of one thing. It's ask Mrs. B about the bouquet. Mrs. B, that bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please. Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to. My problem was I dropped my bouquet and losing any weight for a while.
Hold it!
You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime? Yes, that's right. I was so upset. I ran over and saw the woman with a nip in her back. I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet Rolly gave me. It was that dark spot with the street lamps. We're casting any lights, so I didn't notice at first.
And then you went to the police box to report to the policeman whose beat was on.
Yes, I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That's why I spotted my bouquet again. The main thing was when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all.
This is the direction we're heading. Like, yeah, he actually died on the other side of the road, near the Gardev household, but got moved over. Rolly, you motherfucker, did you move the body so it wouldn't be under your responsibility? In case you need reminding, Mrs. B, the victim is not deceased.
So close for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road.
Your husband, presumably?
That's right, sleeping. I got over to the wrong side of the street. Although I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. Can't think how it got there, I really can't.
Rolly!
You gonna save yourself a bit of trouble, Rolly, and say you just fell asleep on the job? Or you somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite?
Curious indeed.
Isn't it? But the worst of it is, I got back to the bouquet again when we left the scene. Beautiful rose Rolly bought me. That changed from the guy he spent so long collecting.
By bouquet, you perhaps mean this sorry solitary road.
Oh, yes, that's it. It's the bouquet Rolly bought me for our anniversary. The lot of change he found in the gutter.
Maybe just call it a rose. Oh Lord Francis, where did you come by the flower? According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Gardev household.
Where the Garredev's house?
Although it wasn't noticed until the morning, so it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It's believed to be of no relevance to the case since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Can I have it back now, please?
No, I think for good measure, this rose should be added to the court record as evidence.
Oh.
Anniversary bouquet, present for Patricia B from her husband Rolly. The shock of seeing the stab victim caused Mrs. B to drop the rose where she stood.
Symbol of our love. I went back into the trial. You hear me? I went back.
Good grief! Rest assured that I shall do my very best not to forget Mrs. Beat. Now the real question is, where do I present this evidence? It's dreadfully clear what happened now. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
Objection!
You claim, Constable B, there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. I just noticed the time, actually. Alright, it's 2:50. I have a thing to do at 3 o'clock, and I'm going to control myself a bit more now. Since the last few times I've been like, oh yeah, maybe I can keep pushing this a little farther. Every time I've been like, oh yeah, let me see if I can finish this up in the next 10 minutes, the answer has always been no. So, I'm not gonna push my luck this time. I'm going to be ending it here for tonight. Thank you everybody for joining me for more Great Ace Attorney. We are going to be going for a raid, and I think I already see my target. I don't think they're ending yet. Come on, laptop, wake up a bit.
Jet.
Oop, that was not supposed to. Spray, you did that, whatever. Alright, once again, thank you everybody for joining me for more Great Ace Attorney. Next time we will continue the trial. Things are about to get interesting with this new revelation. We are going to be rating one Miaya Miles. She's actually a Fox VTuber, but she actually has a great appreciation for dragonflies, so going to be rating her. Now she might be on follower subscribe. She might be on follower only chat. Now, well, it's fine for now. Thanks again, everyone, for joining me. Next week, more Great Ace Attorney next Friday morning, and maybe we'll see about doing a proper Persona 4 stream next week. We'll see what happens. Not gonna make the same mistake I did yesterday. Gonna make absolute certain that about whether I have plans or not Thursday night before doing that. But yes, thanks again. Next time from Great Ace Attorney, continuing the trial and learning a bit more about the shenanigans that have been going on in this case. Thank you once again for watching, and I hope to see you for the next stream. See you then!